from injury, two of their key guys, with the former Bomber Marcellus Bowman in the middle. Neil King will start at safety. Butler's been injured, and he has been their starter there. Emmanuel Davis, Brandon Stewart, the former Bomber, are the halfbacks. Courtney Stephen and Delvin Bro are the corners. The Bomber offense, Steve Morley at center. Chris Greaves back at left guard after missing 3 games. Pat Neufeld at right guard. Cordero Howard right tackle. Glenn January the left side. Drew Willie at quarterback. Nick Grigsby, Romby Bryant, Aaron Kelly, Clarence Denmark, Julian Fiola Godino, and Rory Collard are the players in the skill positions. We'll give you the other two sides of the ball as we go along. Starting lineups for Enns Brothers, your John Deere dealer on McGilvery at the perimeter, or ensbrothers.com. All right.
Claros, as everyone knows, is out, took that hit in Edmonton. He's got 5 more games left. They can bring him off early. But if Lefebvre keeps doing what he is doing, threw for over 300, rushed for 100, over 100 last week right here against a defense that was really searching for an identity in Ottawa. I mean, I watched it closely. They were emptying people out. They were trying to get pressure. They weren't able to get pressure. Lefebvre just had his way, if you will. Really like what Winnipeg is doing. There's a calmness, but at the same time, and I don't even like to use the word swagger.
And the opening kickoff is brought to you by Jim Gauthier Chevrolet, Winnipeg's biggest and best new and used Chevrolet dealer. 1400 McPhillips. We're underway. Medlock pounds it down to Aaron Woods at the Bomber 5 to the 10 to 15. He's to the 20, trying to get around the corner, but he won't. Pulled down right at the 20-yard line by Rico Murray. Ticats very excited to have Murray back in their lineup, one of their fastest, hardest-hitting linebackers. So the Bombers will start fairly deep at their 20-yard line. Moving from our right to left as we overlook the field at McMaster University. The stands, the 6,000 of them, are all in front of us on our side of the field. The other side, there are no stands, and there's no stands in the end zones. It's the teams are on the other side watching the action as Drew Willie comes out 1st and 10 at the Bomber 20. Left hash, Grigsby set back behind him. And it's a fake to Grigsby. Willie rolling right and throws, and it's caught up at the 33-yard line by Aaron Kelly. The ex-Ticat pulled that one down for a 13-yard gain.
Well, there's confidence right there. You throw that ball into coverage, you throw the ball to the spot where you know your receiver has the best chance to catch it. There's a great example of what confidence and doing things and getting to know your receivers, because when that ball was thrown just off the break, it's to the outside of coverage. Coverage is pretty good, but he also had to go underneath the dropping corner, so that was a great throw to start the game off.
I don't think it was his first choice on that play either. 1st and 10 at the 33 of the Blue Bombers now. Willie sends Paris Cotton in motion right, and it looks like they had a bust there, and Drew Willie's just going to throw it away. It looked like he wanted to hand it off to Cotton, who had motion behind him, but there was some confusion.
Well, it looked like that zone read where he was looking to his right. He had motion to the short side of the field, which turned it from 2 receivers to 3 receivers that looked like they were trying to run that zone read to that side, pop out if the run is taken away, and throw the ball to the flats.
Well, it broke down, so he threw it away. 2nd and 10 Bombers at their 33-yard line. Ball in the right hash. And Drew Willie has Nick Grigsby set behind him. 4 receivers wide left and 1 to the right side. Willie with the football. And he's going long for Aaron Kelly down here at the Ticat 40, and he's got it at the 36-yard line. He was double covered by Rico Murray and the safety Neil King, but Aaron Kelly just went in there and got the football.
Well, he went in there and undercut the safety, as you said, Neil King, an SMU grad, coming across the field. That should have been an opportunity for an interception, but a great offensive move by the receiver to by Kelly to cut under that coverage.
Well, they called pass interference on the play, but
didn't matter.
The Bombers declined it. Al Bradbury of Winnipeg is the referee, and this is the chemistry that Willie and Kelly have grown together. And Kelly missed the last 2 games, but Willie just threw it up and said, go get it.
I'll bet you when they look at this in the video next week, they'll say, not a great throw. Yep. Safety's moving over before he throw under pressure. Next time, maybe not make it, but it worked this time.
From the 36, a little hitch pass right side. Paris Cotton down to the 30, and he's to about the 27-yard line of the Ticats for a gain of 8, maybe 9 yards. That pass a little bit high, and it was really rifled, but Cotton reached up and pulled it down and got a good gain.
Well, and the good thing about where the throw was, it was a little bit high, but at least it took Cotton upfield. He didn't have to break stride. He had a nice little belly going. His shoulders were faced upfield, so he had to go up for it, but at least he was able to maintain his momentum as the Bombers like this hurry-up offense. And it's funny, during the week, the Tiger Cats defense was, Orlando Steinauer, who's their coordinator, was saying, we've got to make Winnipeg go a long way. No, the short field stuff, 45 in. If we're going to do it, if they're going to score on us, they're going to have to work. Well,
they're working down pretty good.
So far, not bad for the Bombers.
Well, they measured, and it's a first down. Cotton got all the way down to the 26-yard line of the Tiger Cats. Today's game brought to you in part by Super Lube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. So the Bombers marching in the first possession of the game, 1st and 10 at the Ticat 26. The ball on the right hash mark. And from the huddle, Roy Kohlert wide left with Aaron Kelly, Romby Bryant, Denmark, and Paris Cotton. Split to the right side, and Grigsby set behind Willie, and now he moves into a slot. And the handoff goes to Paris Cotton, who makes a nice move at the line, gets down to about the 23-yard line. He was tripped up just as he broke through for a gain of about 3.
I like the way they're using their running backs. Grigsby's been a super asset for them this year. But Cotton, he's motioned out as a third man to short side of the field, as I talked about earlier. He's moved back into the backfield on his own read with Grigsby to the wide side of the field. I like what they're doing. I like the way they're taking what the opportunities are that the Tiger Cat defense is giving them.
2nd and 7 now at the Hamilton 23-yard line. The ball just inside left hash. Grigsby to the right of Willie. 4 receivers out. Willie back to pass and throws it over here to the right side. Denmark makes the grab at the 16-yard line. He went down right at the 16, maybe a little bit short. So we'll see. They'll probably have to measure this again. And I think, Neil, you're right. They're probably just a wee bit short.
Again, going to the confidence of a player to make a play. Clearly, Willie looked around, wanted to go vertical, threw off, really wasn't in a good from a mechanical position to throw the football. But he's putting the ball, and he's done it all year, in the right spot.
Yeah, he sure is. Well, it was a first down for the Blue Bombers, 1st and 10 at the Ticat 16-yard line. They're in the Rona red zone now. Drew Willie, shotgun, handoff. No, it's a fake to Grigsby. A little dump pass to Pombrion. He's down to the 10 and knocked down right at the 10-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6. MP Pombrion, the fullback, in there catching the ball.
Well, Pombrion, what a great adjustment. I mean, where we talked about Cotton, where he just threw it a little bit higher 3 plays ago, Pombrion had to literally spin himself around, almost be backpedaling when he caught the ball, keep his balance, make some adjustment, and get upfield for a close to 7-yard gain.
Yeah, we'll call it 2nd and 4. Bombers, Ticat 10-yard line. Right hash, Willie in the gun. Double tight ends here. Right, Grigsby is the setback. He gets the handoff, and he's going to lose yardage. Nick Grigsby spun around and dropped for a loss of about 3 yards, trying to run off the left side.
Oh, you're right. They had a double set. Rico Murray stepped up. They played run all the way. The double tight really brings the linebackers to step up, but I can see some play action going off of there. Rico Murray, 2 picks so far this season. He's one of the more aggressive in that second level of the Tiger Cat defense.
Well, Grigsby's had a tough time. Last week he had 15 carries for 19 yards, and he had a bunch of losses. And there's another one there, a 5-yard loss, but there's nothing he could have done about that. He was dead in his tracks. Actually, it's only about a 2-yard loss. Here's a field goal by Hairolahu from the 19. It is up, and it is good. So the Bombers score first. Probably not pleased to settle for a field goal when they get into the red zone like that, but they are up 3-0, and we're just about 5 minutes into the game. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
Has your garage floor or driveway sunk so much that it feels like you're driving over a speed bump every time you enter or exit the garage?
And that was the handoff to Grigsby on 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and the other thing they accomplished in that drive, other than the 3 points, chewing up almost, 5 minutes, yeah. But they did it against the wind. I'm a little surprised that Tiger Cats aren't making the Bombers kick into that win with their return game, because the Cats' return game this year has been pretty solid.
Yeah, there's not a lot of wind here tonight, but there's enough.
There's enough.
It favors Hamilton here in the opening quarter. Dan Lefevre, first down, a pass to the wide side here, and no good over the head of the intended receiver. And that was Quincy McDuffie, who's making his debut as a receiver and kick returner. They were really excited about the way Brandon Banks was coming along as a returner, and then he got hurt last week. So Quincy McDuffie draws in.
And I think we're going to see Greg Ellingson, who's now back off the injured, and I believe he's playing tonight. No, he's not.
He was a late scratch tonight.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's not going to be in there. Second down and 10, Ticats at their 35. As Neil said, they took the ball there rather than have the Bombers kick off. Lots of motion. Lefevre back to pass. Here comes Zach Anderson. He gets it away, and the pass is no good. There's a flag down.
That'll be a hold.
I'm quite sure. Tim O'Neill, I think 55, had a hold. Zach Anderson has just had a terrific start to the year. He has 3 sacks, 3 tackles for losses, and he missed the game already. So he's been just a force up front there for the Blue Bombers.
Hamilton, number 55. That penalty's declined.
That's Tim O'Neill, who's playing left guard tonight, called for holding. He's been at center. Mike Filer is back playing center. Their offensive line still somewhat unsettled, so a 2-and-out for the Ticats. And they'll be 3rd and 10 at their 35. Medlock into punt. Justin Medlock, the left-footed kicker with the big leg, and he roots one way up there in the air. Aaron Woods, Bomber 28, and he's dancing around at the 28, and he goes down at the 28. Good coverage by Jeff Reinbold, special teams with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 3-0 Bombers, 9:23 left in the opening quarter. Good to have you with us tonight on the Blue Bomber Radio Network. Bob Irving, Neil Lumsden, and you're listening on CKDM 730 Dauphin, 1220 CJRB Boissevain, 103.5 Capital FM in Iqaluit, Noonan.
If it was that last year in Toronto,
no,
I mean, I
agree
think
with that.
You know, I think I don't think the book's written on him yet.
Yep.
I think he needs a chance. He started the year, didn't have much help, had some injuries. Fantus was out. Ellingson only played early in the season. He's been out since. So the cast of characters around him weren't the strongest.
No, I agree. 1st and 10 Bombers at their 28-yard line after the Hamilton punt. 3-0 Winnipeg leading early here at McMaster University. Double tight ends again. Willie back to pass. Guns it down there, and reaching back to make his first grab as a Blue Bomber is Romby Bryant. This is his 3rd game, and he didn't catch a pass in either of the first 2, and that was a very good catch.
It had to be a very good catch because one of the few times I've seen Willie throw to the outside. I mean, the play and the turn was to the inside. He needed to throw the ball to the inside. Romby Bryant made an exceptional effort to catch that ball.
Bombers no huddle again. 2nd down and 4 at their 34. Handoff, Grigsby right side. He'll get around the corner, the 35, up to the 40, and knock out of bounds at the 40, but that will be enough for a first down. A 6-yard gain for Nick Grigsby.
Grigsby brings it back to the short side. They've got a 4 receiver set to the left, to the wide side of the field, 1 to the backside. And Grigsby does a great job of visually seeing that he's got to step up and then slide along that offensive line and get around the corner and get vertical for a first down.
At the Bomber 40, 1st and 10, right hash for Drew Willie. Has the football, quick pass, and complete to Aaron Kelly up at the 50-yard line of the Blue Bombers. He rolls ahead to the 51, and that's a first down. And Drew Willie and the Bomber offense starting out very, very sharp, just as they did in BC. They didn't have a 2-and-out in the game last week in BC, not 1 2-and-out.
Which is amazing.
That's impressive, yep. 1st and 10 now at the Bomber 51-yard line. First quarter brought to you by Lettingham GM, your Steinbach GM dealer. Worth the trip. Drew Willie, shotgun, handoff, Grigsby. Good hole initially, but then closed off by Simone Lawrence.
And you know, if it hadn't closed off, if Grigsby had gotten to that second level, the Tiger-Cats brought their safety, Neil King, up to the right side, the wide side of the field. Grigsby gets 3 steps by. The safety is not there. He is running to the end zone.
2nd down and 7, 3-yard gain. Ball at the Bomber 54-yard line. And here's the throw, and it's complete to Collard, but Fioli Gadino, I think, was way offside, and the Bombers don't take a lot of offside penalties, but this one's going to cost them a completed pass and a first down. Number 83, Julian Fioli Gadino, and he's closest to our side of the field. We could just see him come shooting out of
Winnipeg, number 83. 5-yard penalty.
Those are the penalties there's no excuse for. I mean, your quarterback is the same, your count's the same. I mean, there is no excuse. Just got to, a lapse at a time of intensity where he wants to get off a little bit quicker.
And they're killers, Neil. Now they're 2nd down and 13 from their 49 instead of first down at the 45 of Hamilton. So see if they can convert. Willie empties the backfield. 3 receivers to either side. And Willie with the football. Good protection. Drops it out here. Complete to Paris Cotton at center field. But he's brought down right away by Marcellus Bowman. So a gain of 6 and a conservative play by the Bombers. And they'll send out their punt team. 7:05 left, opening quarter. 3-0 the Blue Bombers lead. Any video reviews we have Brought to you by Winnipeg Kia. Drive a new 2015 Sorento away and save over $5,000. Winnipeg Kia, where Kias always cost less. Liram Haralahu on to punt, which he's done very well in the 2 games since Mike Renault got hurt. A 44.5-yard average. Ian Wild will send it back. Haralahu at the Bomber 41. Looks like he's going to angle it to the left. And he hits a beauteous spiral. And it's fielded at the Hamilton 5-yard line and back to the 10 and out to the 15 and out to about the 17-yard line with the newcomer Quincy McDuffie. So we get another timeout with the Bombers up 3-0. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
There's only one thing better than summer, a super summer. Right now at Winnipeg Hyundai, they're
good to have you with us tonight from Ron Joyce Stadium, McMaster University. Ticats and Blue Bombers, second home game for the Ticats. They'll play at least one more here.
That's what they say.
And beyond that, we don't know. They hope to play in the new Tim Hortons Field on Labor Day, and I use the word hope with a capital H. Again, if you've seen that stadium up close as we have in the couple of days we've been here, it's hard to imagine they could have it ready, but they're still hoping. Ticats first and 10 at their 18-yard line after the Bomber punt. A direct snap to C.J. Gable, who dropped the ball and then gets grabbed by Bryant Turner, and he'll be down at about the 12-yard line. It was a direct snap to running back C.J. Gable, but he couldn't handle it.
Well, and it was and Bryant Turner would have been the guy on that zone read concept. If it hadn't been, they would have been reading off of. And in this situation, you're right. Gable's coming just across the face of the quarterback. They've done it a couple times, had some success, but it's a little wildcat, isn't it?
Yeah, I
wildcat
guess.
Offense. Sure it is.
Something like that. Second down and about 15. It didn't work for Ticats from their 12-yard line.
No, so there's another word for it, but we can't use it.
Yes. All right, here's Lefevre, shotgun from the 12, back to pass, swings it out here, right side, Tasker with the grab, then he dropped the ball. No, they say it's an incomplete pass, but the Bombers were all over that. Now, Lefevre, Neil, on a couple of wide throws already, has not shown great arm strength. The ball is just floating out there, don't you think?
Well, he's been off. He hasn't thrown the ball with a whole lot of accuracy, and you talked about last week the Bombers were never 2-and-out. Too many 2-and-outs, you don't get a chance to find your rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, the offensive linemen aren't engaging. I mean, it really is tough. And I'll tell you what, number 2, Matt Buckner, closing speed on that after the ball was released on Tasker was tremendous.
Here's Medlock's kick from the end zone. It'll bounce at the Ticat 50, be fielded by Kelly at the 51 or 2, and then he's down close to the Bomber, or rather, the Ticat 50-yard line. So tremendous field position for the Blue Bombers. And another timeout on the field, and Aaron, our producer, we got
$148. See your Prairie Ford store for details.
Ford employee pricing, you pay what we pay. It's really that simple.
Overhead doors, call Wallace & Wallace. Fences and more install. Just call us, 452-2700. WallaceFences.com.
For over 90 years, Wallace & Wallace has provided security, safety, and privacy. Call Wallace & Wallace for installation of fences and garage doors, or visit the experts at our showroom who can tell you how to do the job yourself.
Expert choice and installation. Call us now for a free quotation. 452-2700. WallaceFences.com.
Always your team, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and 680 CJOB.
And today's game brought to you in part by Super Lube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. 5 minutes, 23 seconds left in the first quarter here in Hamilton. Blue Bombers 3, Ticats nothing. Bombers first and 10 at the Hamilton 50 after a Justin Medlock punt. Drew Willie from the center of the field, bunch formation left side. Now the receivers motion out of that. And Willie has the ball. Down the middle with it, complete to the 40. Grigsby gets away to the 35, the 30. Grigsby down to the 25, inside to the 23-yard line. Nick Grigsby catches a little hook pass about 10 yards downfield and adds another 10 with a run.
It's one of the things I've liked ever since I've watched Nick Grigsby, and that's his first step vertical after he makes his move. And when he does this, it's a very quick, he comes out of that step so quickly. It was a great jab move, and then he gets upfield. That move right there to bring him back into the center was brilliant.
First and 10 Bombers, Ticat 24 as they approach the Rona red zone again. Willie's in the gun, middle of the field. Handoff Cotton, sweep right side. Paris Cotton down to the 20 and spins down to about the 17-yard line. Crashing back was Brian Hall to make the tackle, but Paris Cotton with about 7 yards on the ground.
Well, we're seeing, I'd love to know the offensive count of Marcel Belfait as far as how many looks and how many different plays have they run from different looks right now. He's done a great job in these last few games of mixing up his calls, again, based on what the defense seems to be doing. And right now, they're pretty vanilla in the secondary.
Down at the 18 of Hamilton, second down and close to 5 Blue Bombers in the Rona red zone now. Willie back to pass. Fires down the middle, but no good. It was well behind the intended receiver and off the mark. One of the few poor throws Drew Willie has made. So once again, the Bombers will send out their field goal team.
But it's the right read because the pattern was a quick post, and the free safety, Neil King for the Tiger Cats, is so deep that is absolutely the right read. It was just off on the throw, as you said.
Hyralahu will attempt a 25-yard field goal. Brian Braum is the holder, the former Ticat quarterback. He was here all last year, didn't get a chance to play. But Danny McManus liked him, and McManus now an assistant GM with the Bombers, and thought they should bring him over to Winnipeg. This will be a 25-yard try. Ian Wild sends it back. It's on the tee. It's in the air, and it is good. Hyralahu, a 25-yard field goal. The Bombers go in front 6-0 with 3:32 left in the opening quarter. All Winnipeg so far. This is one of these deals, though, Neil. If you're Hamilton, you're going, we're only down 6-0.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think as an offense, you get frustrated that you're not getting it in, but you're moving the football. You're having some. What it is, honestly, is you're having some fun. Your execution is good. You're sharp. Everyone in the offense, things are happening, and your defense is 2-and-out and 2-and-out. And all due respect to the Ottawa football team and defense last week, and I talked about how they blitz like crazy, and Mark Nelson, their defensive coordinator, was trying to get pressure on the Tiger Cats and was opening up the middle, not only for the run for the quarterbacks and C.J. Gable, but for the crossing patterns about 15 yards downfield. Very different set of circumstances against the Bomber defense this week.
Yep, for sure. Ticats take it again at their 35 after the field goal. 1st and 10. Dan Lefevre with C.J. Gable set behind him. The handoff, Gable, right side run, and there's a hold on Bryant Turner of the Blue Bombers called by Al Bradbury, the head referee. Gable runs for 14 yards, but I think it was Tim O'Neill again who had a hook on Bryant Turner of the Bombers, and the flag came down and was there for all to see.
Well, Bryant Turner made a great quick move across the face of the offensive lineman.
Hamilton, number 68. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
And Pillar had to hold him. I mean, he had to hold him, or he was going to be in the back pocket of C.J. Gable. And I thought, watching the Tiger Cats, and I thought this last year too, that they need to get a guy like Gable into the game more. They throw him the ball, they hand him the ball, but, that first step by Turner, the quickness to get vertical and across the face of the center, well, you either tackle him or grab him. You're going to get called for both.
That's what Bryant Turner does. 1st and 20. Ticats back at their 25 now. That cost them a 13-yard gain by Gable. Lefevre empties the backfield, back to throw down the middle, and he has Fantus up at the 35-yard line. He's brought down at the 38 by Mo Leggett. The Ticats with their first real positive play of the game that stands and isn't taken away by a penalty.
Yeah, the Tiger Cats to the wide field, 3 receivers. They release the back into the flat. They allow Fantus, who's really the number 3 receiver closest to that tackle, to find a spot in the defense. I mean, that's pitch and catch. That's back to the basic start of your playbook to get comfortable in what you're doing.
2nd and 7, Ticats. Hamilton 38-yard line. Lefevre. And he's rolling to his left. He's going to run with it, and he gets drilled down hard by Greg Peach. Jake Thomas got through to put his first hand on him. He got up to the 40-yard line, but he's 5 yards short of a first down. And once again, the Ticats will have to send out their punt team with 2:01 left in the first quarter.
I always, I would be more so as a coach, but I always get the willies, pardon the pun, that when the quarterback, though we're talking about Lefevre, quarterbacks in this level of football run the option, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to get that end to jump outside real hard. That was John Vega, and the linebacker pursuit was outstanding, as it was by the halfback.
Here's Medlock's kick, and it's not a very good one. It'll bounce at the Bomber 35. Woods will pick it up at the 25. Move to his left. The flag comes down. There'll be an illegal block called on the Blue Bombers there. That'll march them back. That's 2 poor punts that Medlock has hit. First quarter brought to you by Lettingham GM, your Steinbach GM dealer, worth the trip. And Aaron Woods has been playing way back out of respect for Medlock's big leg. But that one, if he'd have run up and caught it, would have saved him about 20 yards.
Winnipeg, number 40, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Jesse Briggs called for the illegal block.
Yeah, and the Tiger Cat coverage is excellent. The one thing he is doing is he's kicking to the corner or outside the hash marks. So the pursuit, and Reinbold's got set up. And I mean, you're kicking to a spot, right? So the coverage has been great. But you're right. But at the same time, I mean, I've been in the stadium a lot as a fan and as a coach. And when this wind is coming from our right to left, the ball doesn't get driven by the wind; it gets carried. So if Medlock gets that ball in the air, it will flare a little bit more than what you might think.
1st and 10 Bombers at their 18-yard line. They lead 6-0. Ball on the left hash mark. And Drew Willie hands off Grigsby. Spins across the 20 out to about the 23. He'll have close to 5 yards. Bob Irving with Neil Lumsden, who's in the University of Guelph Hall of Fame, a former outstanding player in the Canadian Football League. Hall of Fame? Aren't you in the Guelph Hall of Fame?
University of Ottawa.
Oh, okay.
I went to University of Ottawa. I coached
What
at
did
Guelph.
you get from the University? I know that. What did you get from Guelph last year? You got some sort of an award.
No, I was the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew that, too.
No, I didn't think unless I missed the dinner.
Where did I get the Guelph
thing? Did I miss the dinner?
All right.
That I'm just flat out loved by all?
You know, I'm trying to make you better than you are, right? 2nd and 5. Here's Willie back to throw, and it's knocked away, intended for Aaron Kelly, but good coverage by the Ticats. Yes, you're going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. You're in the University of Ottawa Hall of Fame. You were an outstanding fullback in your playing days in the CFL and university ball, and here you are now with me, and I'm humbled to have you in my presence.
As you should.
Yeah.
I've been saying it for years.
And I'm finally admitting it. All right, 3rd down and 5. Blue Bombers at their 23-yard line. 8-2 and out for the Bombers. 40 seconds left opening quarter. Liram Hiralahu set to punt. So
he's kicked in the stadium a lot.
Yeah, he has.
He's put a lot of points through these uprights.
Yeah, he sure has. Chance for the Ticats to get some better field position here. And Hiralahu's kick will bounce. Oh, it goes out of bounds. Not a very good one. He's not very happy about that. It's going to be marked out around center field.
Oh, it'll be moving it up a little bit.
Yeah,
didn't bounce. So
at the 54-yard line of the Blue Bombers, so it'll be called an illegal punt. 20 seconds left in the first quarter, and that's the first
illegal punt out of bounds. Winnipeg, number 70. It's 10 yards from where it went out. First down.
The first real poor kick Hiralahu has made since he took over the punting duties 2 games ago. So the Ticats talk about having good field position. Yeah, they're at the Bomber 44-yard line. And Dan Lefevre from right hash will send Jaguar out wide left along with Bakari Grant. Tasker to the right. And there's a handoff to McDuffie on a sweep. Greg Peach chasing. They can't get him. And E.J. Kowali finally brings him down at the 30-yard line, but a 15-yard gain for Quincy McDuffie from Central Florida.
You see why they like McDuffie, because of his not only his speed, but when he gets, and I talk about it all the time, when you get vertical, running across the field doesn't help you. But his ability to get upfield when he sees that opening is second to none.
Well, the Ticats have something going here as the first quarter ends. They're down 6-0 to the Blue Bombers, and you're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
The first quarter of today's game brought to you by Levingham GM. This is Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football. Today's game is brought to you in part by Superlube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. The second quarter of today's game brought to you by Mudruckers, concrete lifting and leveling. Don't replace it, lift it. Online at mudruckers.ca.
Bob Irving with Neil Lumsden in the Thunder Seed broadcast booth at Ron Joyce Stadium, McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. You want a little information about McMaster University? I'm about to give it to you, Neil. It's located on 300 acres of scenic property in the west part of Hamilton, close to 25,000 students, and they won the Vanier Cup in 2011, all of which you knew.
It is a great campus.
It is. It's beautiful. It really is. All right, the Ticats begin the second quarter down 6-0, but 1st and 10 at the Blue Bomber 30-yard line. Dan Lefevre, shotgun, wants a quick pass left side, fires, and it's caught, but out of bounds at the 20-yard line. C.J. Gable came down with it, but he had a foot on the white stripe when he came down, and that's called out of bounds.
See a six-pack from the Ticats, and, a lot of Lefevre's balls so far this evening have been high. Outside's okay, but they've all come out of his hands a little bit early. I mean, C.J. had to go up real high. Nice vertical, but not a chance to get that foot in bounds. Not a chance.
2nd and 10, Ticats, Bomber 30, left hash mark. Gable sets up on the right side of Lefevre in shotgun. 3 receivers left side. And the Bombers come with a blitz. Quick pass, though, complete to Fantuz, but he's dragged down right away by DeMond Washington at the 25-yard line. And it's only a 5-yard gain, and we'll see the Hamilton field goal team. DeMond Washington is really having a strong year. He's got 20 tackles coming in, 2 more tonight, 22, so he now leads the team in tackles.
Yeah, he was number 2 coming into this game. And number 1 is Matt Buckner, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice close coverage again, and you know, as important as anything else is Washington made the tackle on his own. Yes, he had help, but the receiver was going down, and you don't see enough of that. I mean, that was an important tackle. Kept him to a 3rd down.
Sure.
Maybe giving up a field goal, and that the art of tackling seems to be coming back now.
Medlock has made 7 of 8 this year. This will be a 33-yard try. It's in the air, and it is good. So the Ticats get their first points of the game 1 minute and 5 seconds into the second quarter. Winnipeg 6, Hamilton 3. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio.
On 680 CJOB.
Bob Irving, Neil Lumsden in the Thunder Seed broadcast booth at McMaster University in Hamilton. Tiger Cats off a Justin Medlock field goal have cut the Blue Bomber lead to 6-3. And the Bombers have asked Medlock to kick it off from the Ticat 35, and our kickoffs are for Jim Gauthier Chevrolet, 1400 McPhillips, Winnipeg's biggest and best new and used car dealer. DeMond Washington and Aaron Woods are back deep to receive. Medlock pounds it to Woods down on the 15-yard line. He's back to the 20, to the 25, up to the 30. Woods up to the 34. Knocked down, bounces up and keeps going, but he was down at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, I like that call. As soon as they went to timeout and I saw special teams coordinator Pat Tracy come on the field, I knew that that's the way they think. I like Mike O'Shea, the way they look at that. It's an opportunity when you've got a great return team. You've got an opportunity that ball's going to hang in the air like it did. Medlock's got one of the strongest legs in the league. Normally he'll kick it to the goal line. So, you know, they gave up a yard, but they had a chance to make a big play.
You mentioned Pat Tracy, another graduate of CIS in the CFL. I want to ask you, Neil Lumsden, if you would ever consider coaching in the CFL. 1st and 10, Bombers at their 34, leading 6-3. Willie, shotgun. Back to pass, lots of time. Now he'll drop it out here to Grigsby, but he can't hold on at the 35-yard line. Now, Willie wanted something deeper, but he didn't feel comfortable and tried to release to Grigsby. Would you ever coach in the CFL with the hours that you'd have to put in?
No.
I wouldn't either.
But having said that, you know, coaching at the University of Guelph, we don't put the same kind of hours in, but there's a lot of time that you put in, and you have to these days be prepared. But these guys
are nuts. These guys,
I would be a head coach, but I wouldn't be a positional coach.
2nd and 10, Bombers at their 34-yard line. Football on the right hash mark. 5 receivers out, 4 to the left side, the wide left side for Drew Willie. Back to pass. Good protection. Guns it down there. Complete. Fioli Godino up to the 52-yard line. Has a gain of 16 yards and a Blue Bomber first down. Big catch for Fioli Godino after going offside earlier in the game.
Well, I just Godino is a great example. I love receivers that have got great speed and lots of abilities, but understand the game and understand that you don't have to run somebody to get open. You have to know where the defense is. You have to be able to read it while you're running downfield and make that adjustment, and as does Drew Willie, and he did.
1st and 10, Bombers at their 52-yard line. 18-yard gain. Here's a handoff to Grigsby. Good hole up the middle. Oh, he's pulled down just as he was breaking through. He stopped for a gain of 2 yards. Boy, he was a step away from ripping off a huge gain there.
Well, that's a play where they send the fullback a little bit motion left. They bring him back underneath as a kick-out block and run a trap, and you're right. The block was made by Godino on the end of the out, but that one linebacker, and it may have been Rico Murray, just got inside and got an arm around Grigsby.
I think it was Brian Hall who made the tackle. 2nd down and 8, Bombers at their 54. Ticats showing blitz. Willie taking lots of time. Calls for the ball finally now. Here comes the blitz. Willie pumps, pulls it down, and he's going to throw it away down the left sideline. I don't know if that was a pump fake, that first one, or he just pulled it down because he didn't like what he saw, and then he scrambled around and just threw it away because there was nothing there.
It looked like number 72, Brian Hall, defensive end for the Ticats, got to him at the end and almost said to him, hey, look, if I'm going to chase you all around the field, you got to at least let me get my hands on you. I mean, he's lucky, and that's where gloves come into play. When you sling it and wrap it, you know, the old tuck rule from many years ago in the NFL, that comes into play. Those gloves certainly do help.
3rd down, Blue Bombers. 8 yards to go from their 54-yard line. And Quincy McDuffie back to receive the punt from Liram Haralahu. Better kick than his last one. Fielded at the 15-yard line. McDuffie across the 20, and Louis Richardson reaches out and grabs him at the 25-yard line of Hamilton. 11:16 left in the second quarter. It's the Blue Bombers 6, the Ticats 3. Today's game brought to you in part by Super Lube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
JOB.
Welcome back to Ron Joyce Stadium at McMaster University in Hamilton. Bob Irving with Hall of Famer. He's in many Halls of Fame. I can't keep track of them all. Neil Lumsden. Ticats trailing the Bombers 6-3.
I'll give you a list. And I'll make a few up, by the way.
Ticats first and 10 at their 25-yard line. Ball in the left hash after the Bomber punt. Lefevre, little fake. Here's pressure from Vega. Pass off to Gable, and he's upended and fumbles the ball. And the Ticats have recovered at the Hamilton 17-yard line. The Bomber defense was on the money on everything that Hamilton ran that time.
Yeah, it's like they were in the old expression, they were in the huddle, because they read the fake. They dropped off based on what C.J. Gable was doing. They played on top of him. I mean, it was perfect. And that ball, I thought, came out after he hit the ground, but clearly not, because they're spotting it where the ball was recovered by Lefevre.
Leggett made the big hit to cause the fumble. Ticats recovered, but they lost 9 yards in the process, so they're 2nd and 19 at their 17-yard line. Empty backfield. Lefevre back to throw. Bombers come with some pressure. Lefevre forced to scramble a bit and throws long down the right side, intended for Tasker, and Leggett picks it off, but there's a penalty flag down. Now he fumbled the ball, trying to flip it to Johnson. There is a penalty flag, and the Ticats have recovered the fumble. Now let's see I think the penalty was going to be pass interference on the Bombers anyway, but this will be a fortunate turn of events for Hamilton. You kind of wonder what players are thinking when they try to lateral the ball.
I would suggest to you.
Pass interference, Winnipeg. Number 7. That penalty will be declined. Hamilton's ball.
You'll never see that happen again.
No,
ever.
No, you're right. So the interception wouldn't have stood anyway, but the Ticats will allow it to stand because the fumble gives them the ball further upfield at their 48-yard line.
Yeah, we're watching a bit of the replay, and the coverage is pretty darn good, but pretty tight at the same time by Washington. A little grab and pulling on the elbow.
So it turns into a big play for Hamilton up to their 48. Lefevre back to throw. Greg Peach has got him and throws him down. Greg Peach was not going to be blocked on that play. He just was not going to be stopped by C.O. Prime, the fullback. He ran right through him. It sacked Lefevre.
That gives him his 3rd of the season. One of the things that I was impressed by when I looked at the stats, because stats are important, but for me on defense, when you look away, forced fumbles and sacks, and the Bombers are in a great spot. That makes 18 sacks, 9 forced fumbles coming into the game. Those are opportunities created for your offense, and you keep that up, you're in great shape.
Another big loss for Hamilton, 2nd and 19 this time from their 39. They converted the last one with that interception and fumble. Here's Lefevre, lots of time, and the pass incomplete. Brian Turner hit Lefevre just as he was releasing the ball and then kind of held him up as Al Bradbury, the ref, looked on, because they're calling
everything.
Unnecessary roughness on just about everything.
Well, you can, and some of them have been pretty silly, frankly.
Yeah, they have been.
Getting pushed down. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They got the expensive helmets and shoulder pads on, too. So
3rd and 19, Ticats at their 39. Here's Medlock kicking the way he can kick. Aaron Woods, Bomber 26, moves to his left across the 30 out to the 33. Nice return for Woods. A flag down, though, and it'll probably cost the Bombers some yardage and another timeout on the field. 6-3, Bombers leading. 9 minutes left, second quarter. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
You're listening to Blue Bombers Football, brought to you by Superlube on 680 CJOB.
9:07 left, second quarter at McMaster University in Hamilton. The Blue Bombers 6, Ticats 3, all field goals. Liram Haralahu, 19 and 25-yarders for Winnipeg. Justin Medlock, a 33-yarder for the Ticats. The Bombers are the least penalized team in the league yardage-wise, but they've taken an awful lot of special teams penalties, and a holding call there sets them back to their 16-yard line. 1st and 10, right hash. Handoff, Grigsby, right side run, spins away and is down. He'll lose about 3 yards, caught in the backfield again.
Well, the Bombers just trying to go short side. As you said, 4 receivers to the wide side of the field, coming from our right to left. And again, Grigsby, if you're going to run that stretch pattern, which is out of the pistol to the shotgun, give it to him and allow that Grigsby and trying to get him to the edge. You're trying to get great flow. And if you haven't got consistent flow and pursuit from the inside out, that's where your lanes come from. The Tiger Cats did a real nice job there, especially Brian Buckle.
Second down, Blue Bombers, 13 yards to go from their 13-yard line. Willie in the pocket. Good protection. Drops it out here to Fioli Gadino. And he's up to the 17 or 18. They're trying to rip the ball away from him. He's finally down at the 16-yard line. He was able to hold on to it and gain the 3 yards back that they lost and maybe one more. But the Bombers will send out Hairolahu and the punt team. So the penalty, the holding penalty on the punt return, and I watched Mike O'Shea talking to 2 of his players on the sideline, Derek Jones and Jesse Briggs, who have taken penalties tonight about that, and I'm sure he did not have kind words for them. But it would be constructive criticism.
Well, as would Pat Tracy when he talks to them on the sideline, says he turns his back to the crowd so no one can read his lips.
Right, here's Hairoahu's punt. And McDuffie will let it bounce, and then it go out of bounds at the Ticat 51-yard line. So a good job there by Hairoahu of not allowing a return and getting decent yardage out of that punt. It's out of bounds at the Ticat 51. The 1-3 Ticats will come back out on offense. They lost their first game in Saskatchewan 31-10, and then 2 close losses, 28-24 in Edmonton, 10-7 in Calgary. Easily could have won both those games.
Went back in the record books and looked at the depth charts from last year and November 2nd and looked at the offense, or the Grey Cup team for the Tiger Cats, and they only have one consistency. Brian Simmons, who was at left tackle, he's at right guard. Everyone else on that offensive line is new this year.
Here's a toss to C.J. Gable on first down. Good yardage for him across center field to the Bomber 53-yard line. Bryant Turner diving across to make the tackle with help from Ian Weil. Well, Pete Diakowski, one of the key guys there, too, Neil, who was injured in the Grey Cup game, had a devastating leg injury, and he's still recovering. I guess he's still a few weeks away.
The smartest man in Canada last year, anyways. Yeah. I think he's lost his title to some, I believe, a 13-year-old gal. I'm not sure.
2nd and 4, Ticats. Bomber 53. Ball in the middle of the field. First half moving along quickly. 6:45 left, second quarter. 6-3, the Bombers lead. Lefevre looks like he drew the Bombers offside. Flags all over the place.
I thought the Tiger Cats moved first.
Maybe. The Bombers are suggesting it might be against Hamilton. The officials are.
Well, they'd say that if they were 5 yards upfield.
Yeah, they might not. Sometimes they know when they put their hand. They do have their hands on their hips. The Bombers. Let's see where they go with this.
Procedure. Yeah. Hamilton, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That's Tim O'Neill, the veteran left guard. He's having his issues in the first half of this game. That moves the ball back to the. Well, they've moved it all the way back to the Hamilton 46. They've moved it 5 yards back further than it should be.
Yeah, Andy Fantus walked up the official very politely, I'm sure, and corrected him.
Yeah.
It really 2nd and 8, not 13. So the down marker will move a little bit too.
Put it at the Ticat 52, 2nd down and just a little less than 9. Ticats come out of the huddle with Fantus splitting wide right with Bakari Grant and Kerry Koch. Tasker in motion to the right. Lefevre with the football. Here comes the Bomber rush. Lefevre is going to just throw it away. Incomplete. Pressure coming from only 3 people up front. Brian Turner, Jake Thomas, and Zach Anderson. The 3 of them got some heat, and Lefevre couldn't get it downfield.
And that's a great example where last week against Ottawa, he would step up like that, either go laterally and then run, or make a pass downfield. It's closing in on him, and there are no lanes. The Bomber front 3 or 4, depending on the rush, their consistency of going upfield and taking those gaps away, so Lefevre can't sprint out whether they're going sideways or vertical.
3rd and 9, Ticat 52. Medlock's kick is another one that'll bounce, and it bounces back upfield, hits a Blue Bomber, and flags come down. There will be no yards flags, and finally Aaron Woods picks it up and gets across the 35 to about the 36. So the Bombers are going to have better field position, I think, than they did last time, unless that penalty's against them, and I don't believe it is. 6:01 left, second quarter. Not much for the fans here at Ron Joyce Stadium to get fired up about, Neil.
No, I mean, unless they were cheering for the Bombers earlier on. I did see a bunch of Bomber jerseys walking on the MAC campus, so their following is maybe not quite as strong as the...
No yards, Hamilton. That penalty's declined. First down.
The Tiger Cats, but still lots of Bomber fans around here.
That was a 5-yard, no yards penalty. The Bombers decline it and take the return, which was about 7 or 8. I met a family of 4 on the elevator at the Sheraton Hotel where we stayed, and they were vacationing in Toronto, heading for Niagara Falls, and stopped off here for the game tonight for Winnipeggers. Kyle Walters was able to get them tickets. 1st and 10, Bombers at their 36-yard line. Drew Willie, quick pass left side. Paris Cotton up across the 40, out to about the 43, 44, maybe close to the 45-yard line.
Cotton had to be quick on that quick screen back inside, because the whole idea there is you're coming out wide to the wide side of the field. You come underneath for a quick pass, and you've got to get back up outside, pursued by the Tiger Cats. And we talked about this off air. The Tiger Cat defense has been pretty strong this year. It's one of probably the strongest part of their football team thus far.
2nd and 4, Bombers at their 42-yard line. Willie from left hash. Hands off. No, he fakes to Grigsby, rolls left and throws downfield, complete to the Hamilton 52-yard line. Hauling it in down there was Clarence Denmark, and the Blue Bombers have another first down.
Well, they took you in on that fake, and there's that zone read concept again, where you put the ball into the belly of the running back and you pull it out based on what you see that defensive end does. That end crashed down from the Tiger Cats, which means that's what you do. You pull. The receivers are already running patterns to that side because they expect that ball to be pulled.
1st and 10, Bombers, Ticat 52-yard line. 4.5 minutes to go, second quarter. Drew Willie, little flake to Grigsby again. Willie will throw it now to Chris Greaves, and that's not going to work. Greaves caught it and rumbled downfield to the Ticat 46. This is a guy coming back from a knee injury, and he didn't need a hit like that.
Emmanuel Davis, and you know, and Davis didn't have to do that either.
And Drew Willie was shaken up on that play too. Well, Willie was under pressure, and Greaves shouldn't have caught the ball either because he's not eligible to catch the ball. So there's a lot of mistakes by the Bombers on that one. That kind of blew up in their face entirely. The second quarter brought to you by Mudruckers, concrete lifting and leveling.
Ineligible receiver, Winnipeg, number 64, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Don't replace it. Lift it online at mudruckers.ca. So that all cost the Bombers 10 yards back to their 48-yard line.
And Drew Willie has been taking the last 15 or 20 seconds to gather himself. He bounced around a little bit. He took quite a shot at the end there.
Yeah.
3 Tiger Cat defensive linemen converged at about the same time. So hopefully the cobwebs are out.
1st and 20, Bombers now back at their 48-yard line. Left hash mark. And Willie back to pass. Pressure coming off the edge. He drops it off to Grigsby, who makes a real nice move. Center field, the Ticat 50. And he's down to the Ticat 48. Rico Murray runs him down, but that's a gain of 15 yards by Grigsby.
That's great sense of cutting back. Normally you don't want to cut back into the flow, but if you do it, if you get upfield enough and then cut back, you're really coming against pursuit. And what looked like was going to be a 4 or 5 yard gain turned into now makes it 2nd and maybe 6.
Yeah, that's a 14-yard run. 2nd down and 6 at the Ticat 48-yard line. Blue Bombers with the ball in the left hash. Romby Bryant and wide left. Colert moves over there too. Denmark motions back from left to right. And Willie with the football back in the pocket. Throws it out here for Denmark, but it's over his head at the Ticat 25-yard line. Rico Murray back there on the coverage again. Willie is waving to the sideline that he thought there was pass interference and he wants a challenge flag, but I don't think Mike O'Shea's going to go for that one.
No, Murray did a real nice job in pursuit and coverage, but I also think Denmark sort of slowed himself down and allowed...
He made the foul. Unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 27. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Oh, boy, there's a huge penalty. Delvin Breaux is called for unnecessary roughness. That's the one penalty that's way up in the Canadian Football League this year. Neil, I didn't see it. Maybe we'll get a look at our replay monitor here, but that gives the Bombers a first down. Instead of having to probably punt, their first down at the Ticat 33-yard line. Left hash. Willie in the gun. We'll have the 3-minute warning after this play. As Willie fakes to Grigsby. Quick pass out here to Fioli Godino. He's to the 35 and down to the 34 of the Ticats. Rico Murray Is he on every play? Yeah, he is. All right, we're at the 3-minute warning, brought to you by Avalon Construction. For all your foundation repairs, call somebody you trust. Visit avalonwpg.ca. 6-3 Bombers. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Network.
When you think of Chicken Chef for dinner, you...
Winnipeg Blue Bombers 6, Hamilton Tiger Cats 3. 2 minutes, 56 seconds left in the second quarter at Ron Joyce Stadium, McMaster University in Hamilton. The Blue Bombers are second down and 2, just inside the Ticat 25-yard line. And they won't put their short yardage quarterback Robert Marv in. They're going to line Drew Willie up in shotgun on second down and less than 2. And he'll hand it off to Nick Grigsby, who'll bust it off the left side and get the first down to the Ticat 22-yard line. It looked like he got to the 22. We'll see where they spot it. Looked to me like he made a first down, but the spot of the ball will be critical.
Yeah, I think he did too. I'm never a fan of going short yardage out of the pistol. Never have and never will be. But and this time it worked out. But it's going to be it's first down.
Just so our listeners understand, when you say pistol,
the quarterback his heels are at 4 yards. It's like the shotgun, only a little bit closer. And a lot of offenses, if not most, have it in their as a part of their offensive menu, and a lot of them run exclusively out of it. But I'm a big fan of going underneath the center, not only just for short yardage, but for a changeup.
So is Mike O'Shea a fan of short yardage under center, but they went away from it that time with Marcel Belfay calling the plays, and they made the first down at the Ticat 23-yard line. Drew Willie, shotgun. Hitch pass left side. Romby Bryant away from one tackler, and then he gets snowed under. Marcellus Bowman was coming over with bad intentions, and he brought Bryant down after a gain of maybe 2 yards.
Well, this Tiger Cat defense, they get on their horse. Orlando Steinauer has done a great job. When you talk to some of the secondary that play, because that's where Orlando played as a Tiger Cat, by the way, they love his style. They love the way he looks at the game. They love they're really, really fond of him as a defensive coordinator.
So second down, Blue Bombers, 8 yards to go at the Ticat 20-yard line. Willie back to pass, drops it off over the middle, complete to Grigsby at the 15. He's around the corner. He's down to the 10-yard line and into about the 7 or 8 before Marcellus Bowman rips his head off, and a flag comes down for rough play on Bowman, helmet to helmet on Nick Grigsby. Grigsby's helmet went flying, and Marcellus Bowman, Winnipeg fans know this, loves to hit, loves to fly at you from all over the field, and as a coach, that's the kind of player you want, but they call that.
As long as you're not leading with your head.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Hamilton, number 37. Half distance to the goal at the end of the play. First down.
Well, they said number 37, but they don't have a 37. I'm sure it was 38. That's
38.
Marcellus Bowman. So another penalty for the Ticats, although the Bombers had made the first down. And Drew Willie took another pretty good pop there and was slow to get up. And Robert Marv will come in and run the short yardage offense in the Rona red zone, and now looking for a touchdown from the 3-yard line. Marvin shotgun, first and goal, Blue Bombers. And he fakes to Grigsby, keeps himself, and he's in for the touchdown. Robert Marv pulled the ball and kept it himself and found a hole off the right side, and he's in for the touchdown, the first touchdown of the game. And the Bombers go ahead 12-3, and our winner on Splatters paintball touchdown to win is Tracy Moran. Every time the Bombers score a touchdown, if we draw your name, you and 7 friends will enjoy a great day out, ready, aim, fun at splatterspaintball.com.
Up front, Greaves, Morley, and Neufeld did a really, really good job on that zone read. And Marv had one step. That ball was going close to Grigsby. He knew because of that block, and I believe it was either Greaves or Neufeld stepping around and sealing. He was getting upfield into the end zone. I don't think there's any question. Quick reaction. Great job up front by that offensive line.
Drew Willie's left hand being looked at the Bomber bench. He's taken some big hits here as Hiralahu gets set to kick the convert, which he does. And the Blue Bombers are up 13-3 with 1:47 left in the first half.
Yeah. As a coach, you hate giving up points, any points, in the last couple minutes of a half. It just, drives you crazy. It's one of those things.
Well, and that drive kept alive by a rough play penalty, and then yards were added on down near the goal line by a rough play penalty. Boy, that was some hit by Marcellus Bowman on Nick Grigsby. That Hamilton defense is a tough bunch of Cowboys out there.
Yeah, what it comes down to is you've got to change your style at point of contact, right? I mean, and it's tough to do. I mean, you go in there, you're not necessarily all the time leading with your head, but sometimes, old habits are really tough to break. But you got to. The game's changed, and you have to make those adjustments.
Well, we're getting another look at it here, and there was contact helmet to helmet, I guess, but not intentional by Marcellus.
Well, no, as we're just talking about it and watching the replay, I wouldn't say he was headhunting.
No, not at all.
By any stretch.
No. Here's the kickoff by Haralahu. It's for Jim Gauthier, Chevrolet, 1400 McPhillips. Oh, McDuffie trouble with it at the 5-yard line. Picks it up off the turf, is across the 15, and then is surrounded by Bombers at about the 17-yard line. McDuffie misplayed that kick and got one hand on it, had to then pick it up off the turf, but it cost him any chance to return it. No, Marcellus Bowman's not a headhunter. He just hunts
the football.
He just hunts the game that's out there. And
well, that's what you hate to take that spirit out of the game. I mean, that's what you're supposed to bring to the game. But you're not supposed to bring helmet to helmet. Now, having seen the replay, I don't think he intentionally came in to spear him. I just think he washed through, the helmet came off. Yep. And in some of these cases, and you know this, and I've spoken about this before, some of these helmets come off way too easily.
Yeah, that's true. 1st and 10, Ticats at their 17. Dan Lefever's 3 of 10 for 13 yards passing in the first half. Back to pass here, throws, complete to Fantuz, who is grabbed by Teague Sherman. Mo Leggett missed him initially, and Fantuz will have a gain of 8 yards out to the 25-yard line.
Have you noticed Lefever's, as Fantuz finds his helmet, Lefever's got his gloves off. So they've done something, whether they were looking at his hands or he was having a hard time. Remember we talked about earlier, the ball was coming out early out of his hands, a lot of high passes. Even that one was a little bit up there. But both the gloves are off.
Second down and a couple, Ticats at their 25-yard line. And there's a handoff to C.J. Gable. Greg Peach has him, but Gable's able to fight off the tackle and gain 2 or 3 more yards and get a first down up to the 29-yard line. 1:14 left in the half. Blue Bombers 13, Ticats 3. Hamilton has not been able to get much going on offense tonight. Lefever will run a hurry-up offense here, 1st and 10 at the Hamilton 29-yard line. Back to pass. Here comes Bryant Turner. There's the throw intended for Koch down at the 50-yard line, but he couldn't get to it. Kerry Koch wanted an interference call, but didn't get one.
He comes in with 7 receptions, 159 yards this year, and they've liked what he has brought to the table here. And I think, again, with Ellingson being out, they've had some holes. Fantuz missed a lot of games, so Koch stepped up for them.
Ellingson is, I'm told, a healthy scratch tonight. He's been hurt, but he's been practicing too. But they like Kerry Koch. He's been with Saskatchewan and Edmonton. Great speed. Right. 2nd down and 10. Ticats at their 29. Lefever back to pass. Here comes the pressure, and down he goes. There's a flag thrown at the line of scrimmage, which typically is a holding call. But Jake Thomas and Bryant Turner once again were swarming after the quarterback, and it's a hold against the Ticats. Boy, Neil, I tell you, this is game 6 now for the Bombers. That defensive front is not very big.
Holding, Hamilton, number 68.
They are relentless, like the proverbial dog on a bone.
Yeah, well, and that's what, way back when I played, that's what Bomber defenses were about. They weren't overly big, but they were quick as cats. I'm surprised that the Bombers don't use a timeout here.
Yeah,
minute left. This has been a time to shut the clock down.
Yep. 3rd down and 17, Ticats at their 22-yard line. 45 seconds left in the half, the clock running. Medlock is going to let it run down to the last second before he takes the snap and gets the kick away. High boot. Aaron Woods, Bomber 49-yard line. Moving right. Will he get around the corner? He's center field. He's to the Ticat 51 with 30 seconds left in the half. Had they taken the timeout, they'd have 50 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, tackle made by Sam Jaguar, one of the starting receivers. And I've always thought, he's a tremendous talent, and I've never thought the Ticats have used him correctly. They line him up as a wideout. To me, he'd be a perfect 2 or 3, a third guy inside, like an H-back, or just truly that 3 receiver. I just don't think they get out of him what he could deliver in Hamilton.
Yeah, he's not been the productive player they hoped he would be, has he, since he came back from Indianapolis. 1st and 10, Bombers. Ticat 51, 30 seconds left in the half. Drew Willie, shotgun from right hash. Football in his hands, over the middle for Grigsby, who makes the catch and gets ahead to the 45, a gain of 6 yards, 25 seconds left. And the Bombers look like they're going to run a play without taking a timeout here. They're in field goal range now for sure. 2nd down and 4, Ticat 45. Willie, hands off Grigsby, right side run, turns it in and gets down to the 42-yard line for a gain of about 3. And comes up limping a little bit. 17 seconds left. And we'll see Hiralahu and the field goal team. It'll be 3rd down and a little more than a yard. So Mike O'Shea says, all right, let's see if we can get 3 more before the half's over. A 16-3 lead would look pretty good right now.
Yeah, Bombers really have attacked that short side of the field on the Ticats. They must be seeing something, whether they're in a 32 form, 3 receivers to the wide or 4. They like coming back to that short side. There's something there that Marcel Belfay likes and wants to get to, as we have a flag late. 8 seconds on the clock.
Well, Bradbury's
too many guys in the huddle.
Oh, boy.
Winnipeg. 10-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Well, now the ball back to the Ticat 52-yard line. That's just an awful penalty. Mike O'Shea, you can tell, is, well, you can't tell by looking at him, but you know that he's...
When the head goes down, that's about as animated as he's going to get at this point.
That's messed up. Well, they didn't take the timeout. They still got into field goal range, and now this, and so they'll send out their punt team now with 8 seconds left in the first half. And this could well be the final play of the first half. So the Bombers kind of squander a chance to add some more points.
Well, what the penalty called, it stopped the clock at 8.3 seconds. So it's not as if he could just catch the ball and take a knee and the clock and run out. He's going to have to do something with it here.
There's the snap to Hiralahu and a high kick. McDuffie, Ticat, 15-yard line up to the 20 and out of bounds at about the 22 or 3. And that play uses up the last 8 seconds of the first half, and the teams will head to their locker rooms here at McMaster University. The Blue Bombers very pleased, I'm sure, overall, Neil Lumsden, with the first half, but you know that inside they're thinking, we had a great chance to add at least 3 more.
Harvest and Pure Later Tackle Hunger. Blue Bombers, Alouettes, August 22nd. Be there.
Hi, I'm Drew Willie. I'm proud to be a part of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. This is a whole new team. This is a whole new game.
The Bombers face the Alouettes Friday, August 22nd. Believe in Blue. Game sponsored by Pure Later Tackle Hunger.
Here's the throw. And the pass is complete. He may go all the way. Touchdown!
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Recycle Everywhere want you to get off the sidelines and recycle all your empty beverage containers. Whether it's a bottle, can, carton, or juice box, the container only has one place to go, in a blue bin. It's your turn to carry the ball. Whether you're at home or away, step up and recycle all your empty beverage containers. Visit recycleeverywhere.ca to learn more.
In Winnipeg, everyone knows the perfect matchup for the perfect summer. The Blue Bombers and Old Dutch. For over 60 years, Old Dutch has called Winnipeg home. We started out as the little chip company with a lot of heart, and soon we were providing your families and friends with great tasting snacks right across Canada. You know when you see our windmill, quality lives here, and sharing starts here. Like the Old Dutch Winnipeg Blue Bombers post on Facebook to win a case of your favorite flavor of potato chip to share with your family and friends.
This is Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber football. Today's game is brought to you in part by Super Lube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. Now, time for the third quarter, brought to you by your Prairie Ford dealer. Ford employee pricing is back with our biggest offers of the year, only at your Prairie Ford store.
And the second half kickoff by Liram Hiralahu, returned by McDuffie very nicely out to the Hamilton 45-yard line. However, there was a penalty flag, as there is on every second kick return, and the Ticats are going to be marched back into their own end. The second half kickoff brought to you by Jim Gauthier Chevrolet, Winnipeg's biggest and best new and used Chevrolet dealer, 1400 McPhillips. Neil Lumsden with me tonight in the Thunder Seed broadcast booth. The domination, 13 first downs to 2, 245 net yards to 22. and yet only a 10-point lead.
Yeah, C.J. Gable, 3 carries, 5 yards, 1 catch. I think it's 9 yards. They need to get him in that offense, just like Grigsby needs to be a part of the Bomber offense.
They start from their 10. Lefevre back to throw, and he's going long down the left side. Kerry Koch had a step on the Bomber corner over there, but he was overthrown, badly overthrown, the cornerback Chris Randall. So it's incomplete, and Lefevre's line falls to 4 out of 13 for 17 yards. Zach Collaros on the 6-game injured list. That concussion continues to linger. No idea when he'll be back. They can bring him off whenever they want, but they're not hopeful he'll be back soon. 2nd and 10, Ticats, their 10-yard line. Lefevre rolling right, and he throws, and it's, oh boy, nearly picked off. E.J. Kowali, the pass intended for Giguère, but it was behind him, and Kowali is cursing the fact that he didn't pick that off.
Yeah, I thought they might start moving Lefevre around a little bit, get him away from the pressure. You can get a quarterback like him in the edge. It gives him so many different options, right? And especially when you've got some talent in front of him, as Hamilton does. But again, Lefevre has just been off all evening. And you know, we talked in the break going to half that pretty quick to anoint a guy after one game, but he's still a young quarterback, and this is only his second start.
Second start of his career. Ticats, 3rd and 10 from their 10. Medlock, a big high kick. Woods at the Ticat 48 to the 45. Flags down. This one will come back again. And Mike O'Shea will want to scream again, but the Bombers will have the ball when we come back. They lead it 13-3. And you're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
It's simple.
It's our biggest offer of the year.
Ford employee pricing is still on.
My name's Alessandra, and I worked for Ford for 2 years. 3 years.
26 years. Walk into any Ford dealership, and you pay what we pay.
Get a 2014 Escape S front-wheel drive with 2.5-liter engine for the employee price of $24,494. A total price adjustment of $1,755. See your Prairie Ford store for details.
If you could pay what we pay, why wouldn't you?
Don't miss a swing.
Just hate to get scored on just before the half. To add on to that, you hate to get scored on early in the third quarter.
Yeah,
it's just when you're trying to generate some momentum and some good feelings and have some success, it really it can pop your balloon pretty quick.
1st and 10 Bombers. Ticat 34. Left hash. Handoff inside. Paris Cotton down to the 31-yard line of the Ticats. Good work in there by the Hamilton defense. Simone Lawrence made the tackle. The Bombers have piled up a lot of yards of offense, but Hamilton's D has stood tough down deep in their own end, holding Winnipeg to only 13 points. 2nd down and 7 Bombers. Ticat 31. Ball right in the middle of the field. Steve Morley set to send it back to Drew Willie in an empty backfield. 3 receivers left, 3 to the right. Grigsby lines up in a slot on the left. There's the snap. 4-man Hamilton rush. Good time for Willie. There's the pass. Complete down to the 20-yard line. And down to the Ticat 16 is Clarence Denmark, and that's a Blue Bomber first down, and they're now in the Rona red zone. That's the 3rd catch of the night for Clarence Denmark.
Great protection up front by that offensive line, and allows Drew Willie to move around when he gets the snap out of the shotgun. He looks left all the way. He slides just to his left. Great feet, that great shuffle. And Denmark comes around and comes to that soft spot on a curl, and then gets the ball and turns to the outside.
1st and 10 at the Ticat 16-yard line. Left hash mark. Grigsby set behind Willie. And there's the handoff to Grigsby. He's got a hole. He's down to the 10. Grigsby the 5. Will he get in? Yes. Touchdown, Blue Bombers. Nick Grigsby, no flags on the play. The Bombers have their 2nd touchdown and a 19-3 lead.
Same formation, same play. We saw them get stuffed earlier in the first half down by the goal line. That time, great read. Again, that offensive line creates that seam to the right side. He takes the handoff from Drew Willie, but then that slide step, vertical, and then slide and runs to the corner, just outruns everyone. It's just great quickness along the line of scrimmage by Grigsby, and his acceleration point is outstanding.
Impressive run by Grigsby, and our winner on Splatters Paintball touchdown to win is Patricia Macri. Patricia, you and 7 friends are going to enjoy a great day out. Ready, aim, fun. SplattersPaintball.com. The convert added by Lirim Haralahu, and the Blue Bombers have opened up a 20-3 lead early in the third quarter. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
AOB.
3 minutes into the third quarter, the Bombers go up 20-3 on the 16-yard Nick Grigsby touchdown run. Matthias Gosen in at right guard for the Blue Bombers now. We'll keep an eye on that, see if Pat Neufeld has been injured as the Bombers get set to kick off. And our kickoffs are for Jim Gauthier, Chevrolet, 1400 McPhillips. Lirim Haralahu will boot it down to the Ticat returner, Quincy McDuffie. At the Hamilton 14-yard line, McDuffie to the 25, up to the 30, spins away, gets to the 34-yard line before he's brought down. Blue Bombers with pretty good coverage again. Jesse Briggs made the special teams tackle there. So, Neil, the way this game has trended, a 20-3 lead. Typically in the CFL, early in the third, wouldn't be commanding, but in this situation, it almost looks that way, doesn't it?
Well, I think in the next couple of series for the Tiger Cats on offense, is going to tell the tale for the rest of the game. I mean, Dan Lefevre needs to find some sort of groove with his receivers, and again, C.J. Gable, I think, is a key component to that offense.
Lefevre back to pass on first down, completes it up to the 41-yard line. Sam Jaguar with a little slant pattern, and he was tackled immediately, but he's got a 6-yard gain and one of the few passes that Lefevre's been able to complete tonight. Yeah, the Ticats desperately, from their perspective, need to have a drive here just to lift the spirits of the entire team because they have been stalled on offense all night long. 2 first downs in the first half. Second down and 4 now at their 41-yard line. Here comes a Bomber blitz. The pass to Jaguar, complete to the 45, and he's brought down by 3 Bombers. Buckner, one of them, leading the way, but the third first down of the game for Hamilton. That's a 6-yard gain and a first down at the Ticat 47-yard line.
Well, fairly safe. I mean, he's reading the coverage. He is Lefevre. They got, again, the 3 receivers set to the wide side. Jaguar is just running a simple turnout. Yeah. Nothing too exciting. And, you know, this is also a time where quarterbacks, especially in Hamilton, and I think Lefevre will do it as well, start to look for Andy Fantous more often.
From the 47 of Hamilton, back to pass on a little swing pass out here to Gable, who's hauled down by Ian Wild. The ball comes out, but I think they ruled him down. The Bombers have recovered it, but they're saying Gable was down at the Ticat 53, 54-yard line after a gain of in the neighborhood of 7 yards.
No, I think you're absolutely right. But you still, as a coaching staff and as a player, you get a little bit spooked when you see this. We're seeing it on the replay. He's reaching out. He's, you know, his elbow. Clearly, the ball comes out after he's on the ground. But even then, running backs have to have that ball. That ball security is so vital because you never know when you're going to get the call or not.
2nd and 3, Ticats at the Hamilton 54-yard line. Handoff, Gable, right side run. He's got good room. He's to the Bomber 50, the 45, the 40, flags down. He's to the 35, down to the 32-yard line. Hamilton finally brings the fans here at McMaster to their feet with some good offense, but a penalty flag here could take that big run by Mr. Gable away.
Well, a short side that stretch, that's called a stretch run where they again run it out of the pistol formation. He gets the edge, a great block, and I'm wondering if that's where the hold, because there was absolutely no one off the edge of that defense for C.J. Gable to worry about.
After yards were gained, holding. Hamilton, number 84. 10-yard penalty, and it is first down.
And that's against Bakari Grant, one of their wide receivers. So after yards were gained, they're going to give them the first down, but the ball is then moved back to the Hamilton 48-yard line. 1st and 10, Ticats, 9:40 left in the third quarter. The Blue Bombers leading by a score of 20-3. Be listening for the drive of the game, brought to you by Winnipeg Kia on our post-game show. Winnipeg Kia now open in the Waverly Auto Mall. It's where Kias cost less. 1st and 10, Ticats from their 48, ball on the right hash. Dan Lefevre wants a quick throw. Here comes pressure. Lefevre steps away. He's going to take off and run now and show that skill that he has. Knocked out of bounds at the 55-yard line, but a gain of 7, and the first time tonight he's been able to break away and make some yardage.
Well, oftentimes, a quarterback is known for throwing the football and required to do so. But occasionally when a quarterback like Lefevre, and Willie will be very much the same, I think, as his career goes on, when you get more comfortable, if you get a chance to carry the ball, it's like a running back. You take a shot, you get yourself into the game a little bit, and we'll see if Hamilton continues to attack that short side of the field. Got double tights right here, 3 receivers to the wide side.
2nd and 3 at center field. Lefevre wants a quick throw. Here's the pass out here, and he completes it to Tasker, knocked out of bounds at the Bomber 48-yard line. But another Hamilton first down, Bruce Johnson on the tackle with Matt Buckner. Reminder again, go to cjob.com to enter to play Splatters Paintball Touchdown to win. Every time the Bombers score a touchdown this year, if we draw your name, you and 7 friends will be enjoying a great day out. Ready, aim, fun. Splatters Paintball.com. Ticats. Best drive of the game, and that wouldn't be saying much with the way their offense has struggled. But 1st and 10 at the Bomber, 48-yard line. Lefevre empties the backfield. Bombers come with pressure. He's got Gable all alone at the Bomber 20. That's a Hamilton touchdown. The Bombers blitzed and got burned, and we've got a new game here with Hamilton finally coming alive on offense.
Well, I talked about getting C.J. Gable and making him a serious part of this offense and not flirting with him, and this is exactly what we're seeing. The Bombers bring the house outside. The middle is wide open. Dan Lefevre reads it. C.J. Gable makes the adjustment as he goes vertical, gets inside the hash marks. Just a simple toss and catch.
And the convert coming up by Justin Medlock. The Bombers rushed 7 that time, and Teague Sherman tried to catch up with Gable, but no way that was happening. Gable's big, strong, and he's got pretty good speed. The convert is good, and the Blue Bomber lead is now 20-10 with 8:07 left in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
You're listening to Blue Bombers Football on 680 CJOB.
Well, the Ticats had 22 yards of net offense in the first half. They almost quadrupled that on that touchdown drive. C.J. Gable catching a 48-yard touchdown pass from Lefevre for the score, 20-10. Bombers in front, 8:07 left in the 3rd quarter. The kickoff coming up for Jim Gauthier Chevrolet, 1400 McPhillips. Medlock down to Aaron Woods at the Bomber 7-yard line. Woods to the 15, moves left now. He's going to try to go around the corner out to the 15, and he's strung out and pulled down. Tremendous coverage by the Tiger Cats, and they've got some life now. The Bombers will start deep in their own end. 3rd quarter brought to you in part by your Prairie Ford dealers. Ford employee pricing is back with our biggest offers of the year only at your Prairie Ford store. The lights on at Ron Joyce Stadium, McMaster University. Darkness settles over southern Ontario. And the Blue Bombers on a beautiful night. Temperature right around 20 degrees now. 1st and 10 at their 16-yard line. Crowd into it a little bit here. You can hear them. They've been quiet all night, understandably. Handoff right side, Grigsby. Around the corner to the 20, the 25, the 30, the 31-yard line, and he's tripped up there. Simone Lawrence got a hand on him. Boy, if he turns that corner, Neil.
If Lawrence doesn't get a hand on him, and literally just a hand. Grigsby was just again, so adept to getting outside and finding that seam, and then not continuing to run to the sidelines, but getting vertical. They run almost a cluster to the right-hand side, come underneath, but then that stutter step that he shows, and then gets to the edge, and inside foot gets tripped up by Simone Lawrence.
And it's Matthias Gosen at right guard, so Pat Neufeld, we presume, has been injured. 1st and 10 Bombers, 31-yard line. Paris Cotton takes the handoff in the backfield and gets buried for a 4-yard loss. So a productive run play and then one that blows up.
Yeah, not much there. Not much at all. Bryant Hall right in the middle, number 72, was the leader of that pack. I mean, when things go wrong, as Cotton found out, it went real wrong there. 2nd down and 14. Blue Bombers, the ball at their 27-yard line. Right in the middle of the field. Romby Bryant and Denmark split wide right. Kohlert, Aaron Kelly, Viola Godino, all to the left side with Cotton, and back to pass. Drew Willie drops it over the middle, trying to hit
Cotton, I think, over the middle, but the ball was way off the mark up at about the 32-yard line. There is a flag on the play. And I think it's going against the Bombers for holding.
Holding. Winnipeg, 64. That penalty's declined. Third down.
Chris Greaves called. The Ticats decline. Bombers 3rd and 14 at their 28-yard line. And Hiralahu on to punt. 6:17 left, third quarter. 20-10. The Blue Bombers leading. Stay tuned for the post-game show. Brought to you by Urban Mind. Metal recycling redefined. Visit urbanmind.ca. Hiralahu waits for the snap from Ian Wild. Standing at the Winnipeg 14-yard line. There it is. And there's the kick. A good one.
It's a great kick.
Outstanding. It'll bounce and go out of bounds at the Ticat 29-yard line. Quincy McDuffie had no chance to field that, so that's the best punt of the night for Liram Hiralahu, who has not had his best night of the three that he's done the punting, but that one was a beauty. So, Neil, you know how games can change. The Bombers dominating up 20-3, and Hamilton has a long drive and exciting scoring play. Now,
not go to their senior season ticket holders and offer them first opportunity. What they did was saying, look, do you want to go to the game or don't you? And if everyone had said they do, they would have had to say no to half of them. So there's some frustration there. There certainly is an anticipation of, the Christmas, the new stadium's going to be unveiled and unwrapped. But when you drive by it, as you have done, and I've done a number of times, you look at it and you go, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's just, someone said, well, the field's down. And as I pointed out, well, the field's down. It's all green. They don't paint these fields. They sew the lines into them. They sew the numbers into them. They sew the logo in the middle of the field. That's all done and brought in and dropped into the existing turf that's been laid. So it's not a quick fix. There's a lot of work that has to be done. I only hope Labor Day comes and we're in Tim Hortons Field.
We will see. 1st and 10, Ticats at their 29-yard line. Here's Lefevre back to pass. Quick shot here, left side. Gable's got the catch and a first down up at the 40. There's a flag down in the area where the ball was caught.
Yeah,
that'd be an interference or maybe a...
Almost seemed like it was a late procedure or offside.
Well, the Ticats are marching back, so they sense that it's against them. And it is, apparently.
Offensive pass interference. Hamilton, number 32. 10-yard penalty.
Bit of a push-off by C.J. Gable on his break, getting into that soft area. I mean, you can disengage, but you've got to do it when you're close to him. You can't push off, and we're getting a chance to see the replay. Oh, yeah, he
shoved Desjardins.
You can push off, and then you can jam someone to the ground, and that's what happened to Dunn.
1st and 20, Ticats back at their 19-yard line. Lefevre from left hash has the ball. Gets some time. Here comes pressure. Zach Anderson has him. He gets the ball away as he's being brought down. So it'll be an incomplete pass. And Anderson frustrated that he doesn't get the sack. But did he show a burst there?
Well,
Zach Anderson?
Yeah, a bit of a sprinter action there.
Oh.
It's and the frustration. And I always get worried when I see a quarterback pursued from behind and taken down from behind because, the ankles are exposed when that weight's coming down. But Anderson makes an inside break inside the tackle, unblocked because of his pursuit and his hustle, and almost gets himself a sack.
2nd and 20, Ticats, Hamilton 19-yard line. Lefevre back to pass.
Screen.
Pressure comes. It's a screen, and it's no good. It was intended for Grigsby, but Jake Thomas was all over it. That the defensive front of the Bombers, Thomas, Zach Anderson, Bryant Turner, Greg Peach, they have been outstanding tonight.
Oh, he was hanging on him like a cheap suit. He read that. I mean, there was no way. No way. And, that all comes from great study, great coaching, recognition of what's going on, the tendencies that players show when they're about to do something. That's just great football when you see things like that happen.
3rd and 20, Ticats at their 19.
Whoa.
Medlock kicks one up into the stratosphere. Aaron Woods all the way back to the Bomber 40. And he's to the 45, the 50. Center field, the Ticat 53-yard line. Carl Volney grabbed one of the Ticat downfield people. Well, he sort of grabbed him, spun him around a bit, and then turned to the referee to see if he was going to get called for holding. That's what I chuckled about. But a nice return by Aaron Woods. No penalty on the play.
Well, and that's what I was telling you in the halftime. We were talking about Mike O'Shea and techniques that they teach in special teams, and one of them is you put your hand on his shoulder, and when you get into a position, you swing yourself around. Well, he did that, but you're so paranoid now with officials if they see a hand anywhere that they're going to throw a flag on you.
Bombers 1st and 10, Ticat 53, Winnipeg leading 20-10, 4.5 minutes left, third quarter.
Blitz.
And a fake, and trouble there for Drew Willie. Tried to drop a sort of a little screen pass off to Grigsby there, but the Ticats were in his face. Brandon Stewart
he came off the edge on the wide side from his halfback spot. He creeped up, and his timing was perfect. He hit it. He's just outside the defensive end.
I don't like that.
It's right in the face. And you know what? Ooh, and that's real close where his hand comes down.
Yeah.
Because they're calling that like crazy, too.
2nd and 10, Bombers. Ticat 53-yard line. Ball's on the left hash. 3 receivers to the short left side. Willie, blitz coming over the middle. Fires complete down to the 44-yard line. Making the grab down there was Rory Kohlert. And that's or did he catch it? No, they're saying he didn't catch it, I guess. I thought he made the catch, but apparently not. So it'll be 3rd and 10.
Sorry, Rico Murray in coverage again. I mean, that guy's been all over the field. But, again, 3 receivers to the short side of the field. Safety's gone. He's coming on a blitz. Kohlert makes the right read, absolutely, but got to hang on with football.
He had it for a minute, and then as he was going to the ground, it kind of slipped out and popped out when he hit the turf, so they called it an incomplete pass.
Ooh, you know what? That might be...
Might be worth a challenge, you think?
Maybe.
Looked like he might have had it long enough. 3rd down and 10, Bombers at the Ticat 53-yard line. I guess Mike O'Shea has not heard. A high snap to Hiralahu, who pulls it down and gets the kick off. It'll bounce and go out of bounds at the Ticat 23 or 24-yard line. Ian Wild rarely sends a bad snapback, but that one was high, and Hiralahu did a great job of rescuing it. And then he got a poor kickoff. Has not punted well tonight, Liram Hiralahu.
Other than, the one before was brilliant.
Outstanding, yeah.
But you're right.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I don't want to...
A couple things okay. I'm just saying. Just
everybody's watching them, you know.
Just the facts.
Today's
game
on them, the whole thing.
Brought to you in part by Superlube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. And coming up in the post-game show, the hardest working player, brought to you by CUPE Local 500, proud to support the Blue Bombers. Ticats 1st and 10 at their 24-yard line. So that's a punt that barely netted 20 yards. Lefevre back to throw, getting lots of time. Launches one high, but there's nobody close to it. I have no idea where he was throwing that one.
Well, Kerry Koch was up running was the number 2 receiver that side. Looked like he was running a corner, but the only one players close were Bomber players.
Yeah, there wasn't a Ticat.
Not even close.
Within 20 or 30 yards of that. 3:16 to go, third quarter. Bombers ahead by 10. Ticats 2nd and 10 at their 24. So Hamilton did have that one really good drive here that got their touchdown, but scuffling again on offense. We'll see if they can convert here. 2nd and 10 from their 24, right hash. Lefevre, lots of motion back there. And he's back to pass.
He's patting that ball a lot.
And there's the throw, and he's got a man wide open. It's Tasker at 50-yard line to the 54 of Hamilton, and a first down. Well, you give him that much time.
He's got to find somebody.
And he'll find somebody. Yeah.
Well, and Tasker, again, because going to the wide side of the field, and Tasker runs what looks to be like a lazy post, and he just settles down. Good job by that offensive line, the Ticats, but Lefevre sort of shuffled himself open, kept moving to the side where the patterns were the most fertile for him.
Greg Peach dropped off to cover that time instead of going after the quarterback. 1st and 10 Ticats at their 54. And here's a pass complete on first down, and that's Kerry Koch who made that catch, yes, for a gain of 7 or 8 yards for the Ticats, who, again, are finding a little bit of rhythm on their offense.
They're not going away.
They'll be 2nd down and about a yard and a half, I guess, at the Blue Bomber 47-yard line, closer to 2 yards.
Short yardage offense is in. This is where I often wonder, it's in a game like this, do you take a look downfield?
All right, let's see. Lefevre's under center. He keeps the ball, and he dives across the 45 to the 44. First down for Hamilton. 1.5 minutes left now in the third quarter. I know you love to see them, but it's second and almost 2 yards. So that if it's second and a half yard, you go downfield. Okay.
Oh, I agree with you. But at this time, and I mean, you need to spark your offense. You need to do
something
some
a little daring, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. First and 10.
It is a game.
Bomber 44. Left hash. Yeah. You and I should be coaching. We'd have a lot of fun.
Oh,
we wouldn't win much.
We would have fun.
Lefevre in the gun. Has the ball. Here comes Zach Anderson. Lefevre on the run now. Anderson after him and diving makes the tackle just as Lefevre throws it. And it's incomplete. And Anderson again Lefevre is underestimating Anderson's speed. And so I'm impressed. Zach Anderson is showing tremendous bursts as he chases the Hamilton quarterback.
He's running like a 6'4" guy. And what impresses me more is when he comes off the edge, because he's playing end, he loses contain a bit. He shuffles, and then he's got that burst, as you said.
What a game he's having. 2nd and 10, Ticats. Bomber 44-yard line. Lefevre did well to just get rid of that ball and save a big loss. Lots of motion again from the Ticats. Lefevre back to pass, throws it out here, and he's got Tasker at the 35 and out of bounds at the Bomber 28-yard line, and there may be a face mask in there. Bruce Johnson, who pushed him out, may be getting called for a face mask.
I was going to say, on who? Did Tasker straight arm him in the face? I mean, that's such an iffy call.
It's right in front of us here along the sideline on the side of the field that our press box is. And
major foul, face mask, Winnipeg, number 25. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Now that's Bruce Johnson who gets the 15-yarder. And so the Ticats, with 36 seconds left in the third quarter, have now moved into position to really make this a very, very interesting game.
And absolutely he did. He reached in with his left arm and wrapped around Tasker's face and then grabbed the face mask.
Ticats, 1st and 10, Bomber 14-yard line. They are in the Rona red zone from a Hamilton perspective. Lefevre, right hash, shotgun. Gable to his right. 4 receivers left, and Kerry Koch, the lone man, right side. Lefevre back to pass. Drops it off to Bakari Grant to the 10, down to the 9, and then stopped there by Deja Dunn, a gain of 5 yards on first down.
Just running a little scrape to the wide side of the field. The receivers on the 1 and 2 receiver that side are running quick posts on their own level and just scraping the third receiver out to the flat. It's tough for if it's in linebacker coverage or safety. It's tough to get to them, but good pursuit there by the Bomber secondary to the wide side and that linebacking core.
2nd down and 5, Ticats. Bomber 9-yard line. This will be the final play of the third quarter unless there's a penalty. Ball's on the left hash. C.J. Gable set behind Lefevre, who hands it off to Gable. Right side run. He's down to the 5. He's down to the 2-yard line. C.J. Gable, first down Ticats, knocking on the proverbial door when we come back for the fourth quarter. The Bomber lead is 10, being threatened now. Winnipeg 20, Hamilton 10 after 3 quarters. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
The third quarter of today's game brought to you by your Prairie Ford dealer. Ford employee price.
See the great new overhead doors at WallaceDoors.com.
WallaceDoors.com.
This is Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football. Today's game is brought to you in part by Super Lube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. Now, time for the fourth quarter, brought to you by your Prairie Ford dealer. Ford employee pricing is back with our biggest offers of the year, only at your Prairie Ford store.
Well, the Ticats have turned things around. The third quarter, they had 7 first downs to 2 for Winnipeg. They had 145 yards in offense to just 39 for the Blue Bombers. So after being dominated in the first half, Hamilton has cut the Winnipeg lead from 20-3 to 20-10, and they'll start the fourth quarter 1st and goal at the Blue Bomber 2-yard line. So we could very well have a 3-point football game here in a play or two. Lefevre under center. Mark Filer. Lefevre keeps, and he dives. Did he get in? No signal yet. Yes, touchdown, Hamilton. And a convert's going to make this a 3-point game with the Bombers ahead only now 20-17.
Yeah, you talked about this at the end of the second quarter, Bob, that, a lead of 20-3 really isn't much, even though that the Tiger Cats weren't playing very inspired football, but boy, it can turn around. A little bit of lull by the Bomber offense, a couple of big plays by the Tiger Cats, C.J. Gables catch and run, and then this past situation and resulting in 6 points, soon to be 7. Boy, the complexion changes quickly.
Does it ever? We've seen this. You and I have been watching this game. Neil, you've been playing it for a long time, and we've seen this many, many times where one team appears to be in command, and then boom, boom, before you know it, the other team's right back in it. There's the convert by Medlock, and it's now 20-17 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We're just underway in the fourth quarter, and we're going to take our first time out of the fourth quarter. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
It's simple.
It's our biggest offer of the year.
Ford employee pricing is still on.
My name's Alessandra, and I worked for Ford for 2 years.
3 years.
26 years. Walk into any Ford dealership, and you pay what we pay.
Get a 2014 Focus S sedan for the employee price of $14,344. A total price adjustment of $3,320. See your Prairie Ford store for details.
If you could pay what we pay, why wouldn't you?
Don't miss a swing.
A kick.
A save.
Or a pitch. Because of sports-related injuries, visit Darcy Bain Physiotherapy and get back on the field. Whether it's preventative care or an old injury acting up, Darcy Bain Physiotherapy will assess and create a custom treatment plan designed for faster recovery. And the best part, if you're covered by dental, you're probably covered for physiotherapy.
Darcy Bain Physiotherapy. We set the standard with care. 4 locations to serve you. Visit physiotherapynet.ca.
Once you've disposed of the daylight and you're looking for something real, you've got the Nighthawk with Jeff Courier.
So a lot of provinces name their civic holiday in honor of somebody. And so we decided to do it in honor of Terry Fox. And so we asked you today if you thought this was a good idea.
I'm very proud of this province, as a matter of fact, to name this August long weekend after Terry Fox.
The Nighthawk, real radio. Weeknights from 8 till 11 p.m. on 680 CJOB.
You're listening to Blue Bombers Football, brought to you by Superlube on 680 CJOB.
Bombers first and 10 at their 29 after the Hamilton kickoff. Willie sacked back at the 19-yard line. We apologize for missing that kickoff for Jim Gauthier Chevrolet. 1400 McPhillips. Aaron Woods returned it to the 29, and then Willie on first down is sacked for a loss of about 9 yards, and the Ticats down by 3 have really shifted the momentum.
Well, those that don't believe in momentum have never played the game or don't understand how it's played, because this is a classic example of the Tiger Cats defense feeding off of their offense and their special teams play. The coverage of the kickoff was outstanding.
Ted Laurent with the sack there as he pushed Chris Greaves out of the way. Second down and 19 Bombers at their 20-yard line. Willie back to pass, little pump fake, steps up now. Drew Willie will throw it out here, complete to the 31. A diving catch made, but for a very short gain by Clarence Denmark. A gain of close to 10 yards up to the 30-yard line, but it'll leave the Bombers in a third down and 9 and another 2 and out as their offense, which had 245 yards in the first half, has been pretty much shut down by the Ticats here in the second half.
This is where you need your special teams to shift the field for you. A great kick, great coverage, and make the Tiger Cats work along field.
Ooh, a low snap to Hiralahu, but he picks it up and gets the kick away. Not a great one again. And McDuffie fielding it. He's got some room here. He's to the Bomber 50, and he's to their 45. He's to the 40, and he's gone. McDuffie's got a touchdown, and the Ticats have taken the lead. Wow. That was just a poor punt by Hiralahu, and then to make matters worse, poor coverage by the Bomber.
Well, a shorter punt can often, with some decent jamming by the Tiger Cat punt return team, creates lanes, and I thought he had a chance to continue to go wide, but he does a great job, does McDuffie, cutting back, and boy, has he got some wheels.
Wow, he is fast. Well, they told us he was fast. This is his first game, and he's only playing because Brandon Banks is hurt, but we saw that.
Yeah, well, he may have found his way onto this roster. You can't keep a guy like that that's got skills out of the lineup, especially on special teams.
Once he got in the open field, nobody was catching him. You can really see his speed there. He just pulled away from people. Convert is good by the Tiger Cats, and they have now taken the lead. Justin Medlock, and Hamilton is in front 24-20 in a sort of stunning turnaround here. If you watch the first half of this game, you thought, oh, man, there's no way Hamilton has got...
Reason for us to get all fired up and goofy. He's not. Why should we be? Go out and execute. Do what you do well.
Justin Medlock getting set to kick off again for Jim Gauthier Chevrolet, 1400 McPhillips. Bob Irving, Neil Lumsden in the Thunder Seed broadcast booth at Ron Joyce Stadium. McMaster University just underway in the fourth quarter, 24-20. Hamilton, 21 consecutive Hamilton points. Medlock's kickoff. And it'll be Aaron Woods at the 16-yard line. Across the 20 to his left now to the 25 to 30. Woods up to the 32-33-yard line. Good coverage again by the Ticats. And so Drew Willie and that Bomber offense will try to stem the flow here a little bit now.
Well, they got, as I said about the Ticats and C.J. Gable, the Bombers got to get Nick Grigsby back into the mix here.
1st and 10, Bombers at their 33. Ball's on the left hash mark. The Bombers have not been behind very often of late. That game with Edmonton 2 weeks ago. Here's a handoff to Grigsby, big hole right side, and he's hauled down as he approached the 40-yard line. A very good tackle by Marcellus Bowman. Grigsby will have a gain of about 5 yards. Closer to 6, I guess, up to the 39-yard line. The Bombers 2nd down and 4. And boy, Neil Lumsden, could they use a first down right now?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball again. You've got a guy who's so explosive. You see them bringing pressure, change it up, but they're clearly not going to run.
Empty the backfield. Willie back to pass, and he's going long out here for Grigsby down at the Ticat 40-yard line, but overthrown by Drew Willie. Sort of a curious play on 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, Grigsby's complaining that his jersey got tugged on a bit when he made his break to run that corner pattern. That would have been a tough throw.
Yep. 3rd and 4, Bombers at their 39-yard line. Liram Haralahu set to punt to Quincy McDuffie. Oh, the snap goes over his head. Haralahu picks it up at the 2 and then will kick it through the end zone, and that's a safety touch for the Tiger Cats. And boy, you talk about an unraveling. Ian Wild just never makes a bad snap, but he's been off his game tonight. He's had 2 or 3 questionable snaps, and that one way over the head of Liram Haralahu, and give the Ticats 2 more points. They now lead 26-20, and we have a timeout. 11:07 left in the fourth quarter. Bombers are going to have to gather themselves here. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
So you're looking for a new ride? That's right.
J.O.B.
Cats have scored 23 consecutive points and lead 26-20 with 11:07 left in the fourth quarter. The high snap by Ian Wild. Haralahu chasing it down and just kicking it through the end zone to prevent the Ticats from perhaps falling on it for a touchdown, and that's a safety touch, and Winnipeg will have to kick off from their 25-yard line. So Hamilton not only leading by 6 now, but figures to have very nice field position. Here's Harallahu's kick, and it's a line drive caught at the 20-yard line. This is not McDuffie, but it's a good return across the 50. The Bomber 50 down to their 46-yard line, and running that back was Moses Madu, a designated import backup running back. And everything the Ticats touch now turns into something positive. As much as they were dominated in the first half, they are dominating in the second half.
Yeah, and clearly what we talked about earlier is both teams didn't want to do is give them half ice in. This short field will kill you.
So the Ticats 1st and 10, Bomber 47. Today's game brought to you in part by Super Lube Auto Center, home of the best 10-minute oil change. Dan Lefevre First and 10 at the Bomber 47. Back to pass as Lefevre drops it off over the middle. Bakari Grant to the Winnipeg 40. 35 cut down there by Chris Randall, but a gain of 12 and a first down.
A simple 4 receiver set to the wide field, and they just drag the inside or the third receiver to that wide side underneath and across the pattern. Linebackers drop. Simple pitch and catch over the middle. Nothing fancy. Everyone's dropping off. You push your receivers deep on everyone else.
First and 10 at the Blue Bomber 35-yard line. Lefevre and shotgun with C.J. Gable to his left. They've got tight end formation in there. Lefevre wants a quick pass right side, has it to Grant. He breaks one tackle and then is brought down after a gain of maybe 2 yards. Good work there by the Blue Bomber defensive backfield. E.J. Kowali, the linebacker, leading the tacklers. Fourth quarter brought to you by your Prairie Ford dealers. Ford employee pricing is back. You pay what we pay only at your Prairie Ford store. 9.5 minutes to go. Fourth quarter, Ticats 26, Bombers 20. A stunning comeback by Hamilton. Second down and 7 now at the Bomber 32-yard line. Lefevre empties the backfield, drops into the pocket. Here comes some pressure, and Zach Anderson was held. Lefevre is able to get down to the Bomber 25-yard line, but there's going to be a holding call here.
Yeah, there's a couple flags.
Yeah, 2 flags down. Zach Anderson was held for sure. And it looks like Tim O'Neill, who's been called a few times tonight, who had his hands on his hips and looking very much like the guilty party.
Hamilton, number 55, 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
And that's who it was. Ticats will be pushed back 10 yards, and instead of having a first down on the run by Lefevre, will be second down and 18 at the Bomber 43-yard line.
Yeah, and stuffing them here would force them to punt. Medlock's got a long leg, and I saw him warming up prior to the start of the second half, and he's close to being in his range, but I think this would be too far for him.
All right, here's Lefevre back to pass. Greg Peach is chasing Lefevre, and he's got him at the 44-yard line. That'll be a quarterback sack for Greg Peach with a tremendous quickness again off the edge. He pumps his fist, and the Ticats are going to look at a third down and 19 from the Bomber 44-yard line. Winnipeg D comes up big here. And now, they won't try a field goal, Neil. You're right. It'll be Medlock looking to punt the Bombers deep into their own end of the field.
Yeah, and he'll try to kick to his right, the short side, where based on where the alignment is, they're in the right hash going from our right to left. He will try to kick it to the right corner.
Medlock standing at the Ticat 51-yard line. Aaron Woods, the lone Bomber back. Over at the Bomber bench, Ian Wild is practicing his long snapping. There's Medlock's kick, and it's a darn good one. Catching it on the run was Woods. That'll be a 15-yard no yards penalty. Caught it about the 23-yard line, so Medlock did not hit that as well as he wanted to. We have another timeout. 8:19 left in the fourth quarter. Ticats have come back from 20-3 down to lead 26-20. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network.
Touchdown! Wow, what a play! Let's go to Sarah with the on-field report.
Thanks, Chris. It's been a great season for North Star Genetic Soybeans. They've assembled an all-star lineup of top-performing soybean varieties that will be winners on any...
Remaining in the fourth quarter. Hamilton 26, the Bombers 20. The no yards penalty against Hamilton on the punt has put the ball at the Bomber 35-yard line. First down and 10. Winnipeg. Drew Willie from left hash. Sends 4 receivers. Wide right, Grigsby set in the backfield beside the Bomber quarterback, and now Fioli Godino motions back left side. Willie with the football. Quick pass here. Aaron Kelly with the grab at the 40 up to the 44-yard line. That's a 9-yard gain and close to a Blue Bomber first down, and they haven't had many of those in the second half.
No, and I know the play's come and gone, and I mentioned when we went to commercial that Woods, a great play by Woods, catching that ball on the fly, in the air, 15 extra yards on the return. Those plays, they don't get enough credit for it. Those are big plays in a game and could be a real big one this evening.
Bombers second down, less than a yard. They're going to go without a huddle, and Willie's going to, sneak it, I think. The exchange
Hamilton was
never
offside.
made, and the ball was fumbled, and Hamilton has it, but there are penalty flags. So I don't know if the ball was ever snapped by Steve Morley.
Well, someone
Offside. Hamilton. 5-yard penalty. Comes first down.
Trying to anticipate the snap, Bryant Hall, who ended up with the ball, too. He's right. He's just a hair left to the center, and he gets an unbelievable jump.
Yeah, he was,
in other words,
well across
illegal.
the line. Yeah. So the Bombers get a first down at their 50-yard line with that 5-yard penalty. Right hash, just inside right hash for Drew Willie. Pombreon in as a fullback. Here's a pass to Romby Bryant. He gets away to the 50, the 45, and out of bounds at the Ticat 42-yard line. A gain of 18 yards for the Blue Bombers. Just a little curl to Romby Bryant, and then he broke a tackle and scooted for another 10 yards.
Ex-Bomber Brandon Stewart knocked him out of bounds, or that could have been. He's got that real shifty inside move.
1st and 10 Bombers, Ticat 42. Winnipeg's offense comes to life at least momentarily now in the fourth quarter. We'll see if they can carry it on from the Ticat 42. Ball in the right hash. Paris Cotton in there motioning left to right. And Drew Willie hands off Grigsby. Right side run. He's to the 40, and that'll be it. Gain 2 yards, maybe 3. They're going to give him just across the 40-yard line. 6-point Hamilton lead. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left, and the clock is running. Cotton out, Fioli Godino back in. 2nd down and 7 Blue Bombers. We'll call it the Ticat 39-yard line. And Kohlert wide left with Aaron Kelly and Fioli Godino. Romby Bryant and Denmark split wide right. The fans here at McMaster trying to make some noise to disrupt the Bomber offense. Willie, a big blitz comes, and he gets it off to Fioli Godino, and he fumbles it at the Ticat 32-yard line, and who's got it? Hamilton, I think, has the ball back. Yes, they do. Fioli Godino had the first down, but he couldn't hold on to the football.
It looks like Rico Murray again. He's been around the ball all day. They're gonna take a real good look at this, whether he was on the ground or the ball came out first. That ball's out while he's still up. That's clearly a fumble. Now, not only does Rico Murray do a great job in coverage, stripping the ball by coming across the front, knocking it loose, but jumps over and recovers it. It's a massive play.
Well, he's had a fabulous game, Rico Murray. So the Ticats take over at their 31-yard line. 1st and 10. And Dan Lefevre in shotgun from the right hash. 6 minutes to go. Ticat 6-point lead is still there. Here's the pass out wide to Bakari Grant at the 35 of the Ticats, and Buckner with the tackle, the former Ticat, holding it to a 4-yard gain.
Well, it goes without saying this Bomber defense has to step up, and right now is the best opportunity to put their offense back in good position. The breeze has settled a little bit. The flags aren't moving either on top of the uprights or the 3 flags in the end zone by the scoreboard, so it is settling down. So that will make a difference in this game, either kicking or throwing the ball.
2nd down and 7 Ticats from their 34. Lefevre wants a quick pass, delivers it, completes it to Kerry Koch, and he's got a first down up to the 42-yard line. Chris Randall right there with the tackle, but Koch was able to hold on to the ball and come up with a play.
Well, Randall was all over him, but that quick post by Koch, he does a great job of protecting himself from the defender and catching the ball off his body. Again, Lefevre, ball's in there exactly in the right spot. Could have been a little bit lower, but pretty good execution on both sides, coverage and catch.
4:55 left in the fourth quarter. The clock running. Ticats up by 6. 1st and 10 at their 43-yard line. Lefevre hands off to Gable, C.J. Gable, and he runs right into guess who? Zach Anderson, who stops him for a gain of a yard, maybe 2. Stay tuned for Mike O'Shea's post-game comments. They'll be brought to you by Moray Auto Body, the little body shop with a big heart, online at morayautobody.ca.
Zach Anderson just actually took himself out, Bob, on that play. Hobbled off, he got replaced, receiving attention on the sidelines.
All right, 2nd down and 8. Ticats at the Hamilton 45-yard line. Ball's right in the middle of the field. Lefevre back to pass, and that's early movement by somebody. There was still time on the 20-second clock.
Procedure
call.
Hamilton, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Goes against Jake Olson, their rookie left tackle. And we'll leave them in a second down and 13 now, back on their 40-yard line with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 26-20, Hamilton in front. They were down 20-3 early in the third quarter. But all Hamilton since then. Here's Lefevre in shotgun on 2nd and 13 at the Ticat 40. Has the football. Gets decent pressure. He's got a receiver wide open out there. Andy Fantuz goes down at the Ticat 50. So he'll come up 3 yards short of the first down. He kind of slipped as he tried to avoid a Bomber tackler, or he would have made the first down.
That's that turf I told you about before the game started. I said this turf at Mac is okay, but not great. And anytime you use an inside cut to get vertical, often your foot will come out based on the kind of infill that they have here. And Bombers are just giving everything underneath there. They weren't going to give anything up deep.
So 3rd down and 3. I don't suppose they'd run a fake punt here, do you, Neil Lumsden? Justin Medlock is going to let some time run down. No, I don't either. I'm just thought I'd throw it out.
Throwing it out there? Well, you and I would, but
and here's Medlock kicking. And he launches just a gorgeous spiral punt. Aaron Woods, Bomber 15-yard line, and he's going to try to go out wide. Flags down. There's a holding call on the Bombers. I think Woods around the corner and out of bounds at the Blue Bomber 34-yard line.
Yeah,
but probably all for naught with 3:07 left in the fourth quarter. The Bombers down by 6, and they're going to face a very long field when their offense comes out there. So if they can put a drive together here now, Neil, and win this game.
Number 20, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It will be very impressive. They called the penalty on number 20. Well, the Bombers don't have a number 20, I don't know who that was on. Kent Austin has been very animated over there on that Hamilton sideline. He's screaming and yelling, and quite often, and not at the referees, I don't think. So the Bombers, 1st and 10 at their 10-yard line. Ball's on the right hash. We'll have the 3-minute warning after this play. Drew Willie takes the snap from Steve Morley. Fires a pass complete up to the 14-yard line. A short gain, and the Bombers are going to be 2nd down and 6 when we come back. Aaron Kelly with that catch. The 3-minute warning for Avalon Construction for all your foundation repairs. Call someone you trust. Visit avalonwpg.ca. 26-20 Hamilton. You're listening to the Recycle Everywhere Blue Bomber Football Radio Network. And the Blue Bombers are 2nd down and 5 at the Winnipeg 15-yard line. So it's a high hill for the Bombers to climb here, down by 6. And they will need their drive of the year to pull this one out. Willie in shotgun on 2nd and 5. Here comes a blitz. Drew Willie steps up, and he's going to try to run for it, but he won't make it. He's pulled down at the 16-yard line. A gain of a yard. The Bombers will punt. They won't go for it on 3rd and 4. There's still time if they can get a hold and use their timeout. They're too deep to go for it.
Well, Norwood came on a blitz to the outside. They did a bit of a switch where the end drops off. Norwood's coming out. He does it under great control. What he does, he's reading the quarterback. He steps up, puts pressure, then slides underneath when Drew Willie steps upfield.
Iralahu punting.
Whoa.
And he gets a beauty away. McDuffie back to the Ticat 42, and he's tripped up at the 45. Really good work by Don Unamba downfield to make the tackle there. So the Bombers get the best possible outcome, really, from the punt and the kick cover there. The Ticats at their 45 with 2 minutes and 21 seconds left.
Lots of time.
Lots of time if Winnipeg's defense needs to stop real quick, though, Neil. And even if Hamilton has to punt, the Bombers are still going to face a tall order to get it down there for the touchdown, barring some sort of turnover scenario. 1st and 10, Ticats. Hamilton 45, right hash. C.J. Gable to the left of Lefevre. And Lefevre's going to run a quarterback draw. And he runs right into the arms of a Blue Bomber at his 46-yard line. It's Greg Peach stopping Lefevre for a gain of a yard. Zach Anderson not back in the game. He was shaken up there at one point. Talked to Coach Mike O'Shea on the postgame show and try to get some more on that. The clock running. 2:05 left And the Ticats 2nd and 9, Hamilton 46-yard line. Bombers desperately need a hold here on this play. Down by 6. Lefevre will swing it out to C.J. Gable, and he gets away from Ian Wild and then is surrounded by a bunch of Bombers and thrown down for little or no gain with 1:50 left. And the Bombers should use a timeout here. And they have to stop the clock because that play stayed in bounds, and the Ticats would have been able to run off 19 seconds before punting, but the Bombers use a timeout. So they'll get the ball back with 1:35, 1:40 left. Lots of time. And maybe a good return here from Aaron Woods would put them in a reasonable position. We'll see if Medlock and Neal can root another one of those. He's hit some gorgeous punts here in the second half.
Absolutely, and he typically kicks to angles. He'll probably kick this to his left. Woods is right, and Woods has been close all evening. Last return he had was a real good one. Unfortunately, he came back for holding. Yep. This is where you need your guys to do some great jamming up front and just to run with people and don't do anything silly.
All right, here's Medlock's punt. And it's a good one for sure. Aaron Woods waits for it at the Bomber 15. And he's back to the 16, and that'll be just about it. Terrific coverage by the Ticats. But the hang time on those punts makes it so much easier for the cover teams.
Oh, well, without question. That's almost the perfect punt. Keeps it down on the hash marks. Easy target for the cover team to get to. Disciplined cover, breaking down. I mean, it's exactly what you want for your cover team. And conversely, that return team has to get a little bit sharper.
Well, the last possession, the Bombers were on their 10-yard line. Now they're on their 16, and they are definitely in 3-down territory now. Trailing by 6, 1:40 to go. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Drew Willie. Back to pass. Spins around there with some pressure and throws. He's got Fioli Godino up at the 32-yard line. There is a penalty flag. Further upfield at the 44, a gain of 15 yards and a first down.
Typically, you'd think that's thrown in the area of interference, back away from the play. The ball's going front side, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, the Bombers have a 15-yard gain and a first down on the play, and they're lining up to run another play as the officials discuss the infraction, and Mike O'Shea, I think, is
illegal contact. Hamilton 0.
Interference, yeah.
Penalties declined. Play results. First down.
Take the game.
So the Bombers are in the hurry-up offense. 1:31 to go. 26-20, Hamilton leading. Winnipeg 1st and 10 at its 30-yard line. Time whistled in by Al Bradbury. And Drew Willie back to pass. And again, some pressure. Willie is going to take off and run. He's to the 35, the 40, out to the 45, and out of bounds at the Bomber 45-yard line. Drew Willie with a nice run.
And sorry, Bob. And heads up as he's moving and finds his seam and steps up. He continues to keep the ball out as if he's going to throw it. That buys him time and frees anyone in coverage and wants to pursue. That's real heads-up football, and that's great. It gives him an opportunity to buy more time as he's going downfield, even if he passes the line of scrimmage.
1:17 left. 1st and 10 Bombers up to their 45 now. Ball in the left hash. Willie calls for the ball from Morley. Has it. Fires out here right side for Kohlert, but he underthrew him by quite a bit. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. Stops the clock with 1:13 to go, and the Bombers can kind of gather themselves. Willie can catch his breath a little bit after that run.
Yeah, and that's a long throw. Even though the receiver in Kohlert in this case was coming in on a quick post, that's a long throw from the other side, the other hash marks.
2nd and 10 Bombers at their 45. 1:13 left. 26-20. Hamilton in front. Willie's on the left hash mark. He empties the backfield. 3-man Hamilton rush. Willie with lots of time. Down the middle he goes, and he's got it to the 48-yard line. Caught there by Clarence Denmark, the 48 of Hamilton. That's a 17-yard gain. A Bomber first down. 1:06 left. Willie and the Bomber offense running the no huddle from the Ticat 48. Left hash. Clock running again. It's down to a minute left. Willie, quick pass right side, caught by Aaron Kelly at the Ticat 42-yard line. A gain of 6 more yards. 58 seconds left. And an injured Ticat.
Looked like Emmanuel Davis. He was in coverage, and he was off the receiver. That's why Drew Willie picked him out. Now he went down. I wonder if they're going to force him to get out. Yes.
He's going to leave the field.
Yep.
And with 58 seconds left, the Bombers are down to the Ticat 42-yard line. 2nd down and 5. Clock running again. Willie in shotgun. Calls for the ball. Here comes a blitz. Willie drops it off out here to Grigsby. He's to the 40 and pulled down at the Ticat 40. 2 yards short of the first down. 45 seconds left on the clock. So the Bombers have to convert and do it quickly. And then they've got 2 timeouts now in this half because they didn't use their first half timeout. Here's Willie in the gun. 3rd down and 2. Ticat 40-yard line. Drew Willie. Back to pass. Getting some pressure now. Gets away and lobs it downfield. Aaron Kelly with the catch at the 25-yard line. 31 seconds to go. The Bombers continue the drive. 31 seconds left.
And Brandon Stewart at the short side field halfback has taken a couple shots. He was real slow getting up there.
1st and 10 at the Ticat 24. Clock running. 30, 28, 27. Willie with the football. Back to pass. Fires, and it's tipped in the air, and no good. Intended for Kohler at the 15. It went flying through the air and landed at the 10. Ticats diving for it. Clock stopped. 21 seconds left. Time for at least 2 more plays, maybe 3. Bombers approaching the Rona red zone, trailing by 6. 2nd down and 10. Ticat 24-yard line.
Look at them going short side of the field, closest to it. They got 3 receivers set to this side. Wouldn't surprise me if they try to pick on Brandon Stewart.
Willie in the gun from right hash.
Blitz.
Here comes the pressure. There's the throw to Fioli. Godino makes the grab at the 3-yard line. Got a big hit, but he held onto the ball, and the Bombers are going to be 1st and goal, and they're going to put it at the Ticat 2 with 16 seconds left.
Safety Neil King came across. He was late getting up. That ball was thrown on the line. He just gave a hell of a shot.
What a grab by Fioli.
Unbelievable.
Godino. That's a sensational catch. Wow. So the clock running again. 15 Bombers in shotgun from the Ticat 2-yard line. 1st and goal. Willie calls for the ball, hands it off to Grigsby, and he's stopped in his tracks at the 2 with 4 seconds left.
Well, if they have timeouts, it wouldn't have been a bad idea maybe to use one just before that.
For sure. I thought that if you don't use your timeout in the first half, I thought you got it in the second half. So it's going to come down to a final play. The clock is now down to 0. The Bombers in the huddle. 2nd and goal at the Ticat 2-yard line. And what will the Bombers come up with? Drew Willie in shotgun from right hash.
I would expect pressure from the Tiger Cats.
Willie calls for the ball. Has it.
Here they come.
And the flag flies just as the ball was snapped. So they stopped the play before it actually started. Hamilton called timeout just as the Bombers were getting set to put the ball into play. So there's no time left on the clock. Hamilton leading 26-20. Bombers at the Ticat 2-yard line. 1 play left to try and win the game, down by 6 points. This is high CFL drama.
Wonder what Kent Austin saw there that he wasn't happy, because he was signaling good 8, 9, 10 seconds before they even called it. Something there that he didn't like.
What would you run here?
I'd get him out of the pocket. I know they like short side. They went short field there, but I might try to move him out to his left. Tiger Cats are going to bring people up. They'll probably bring at least 6.
Here's the game then from the 2-yard line. The Blue Bombers.
Here they come,
touchdown to
side.
win or a failure and they lose. Willie back to pass. Way into the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown, but there are flags down. There are penalty flags. Grigsby with the catch, but will this stand? Romby Bryant is saying it's a touchdown.
I thought Hamilton.
Yeah, the Bombers are celebrating the penalties against Hamilton. The touchdown is good to Nick Grigsby. And a convert now by Hiralahu will win it. The game is only tied now. A convert by Liram Hiralahu will win this game. Wow.
Well, it'd be an understatement to say there were some spectacular plays to get them to this point. And from our vantage point, when he threw this ball, I didn't think he's got a blitz coming from the short side.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was a bit of a lame duck frankly. But when you look at it here, what a great adjustment by Grigsby.
All right, here's the convert try by Haralahu to win the game. Brian Braum puts it down. It's
Flag.
up and it's good. There's a flag on the play. The Bombers have won, depending on the outcome of this penalty. And Al Bradbury, the referee, is waiting for word. It's against Hamilton. Offside. The convert good, and the Blue Bombers have pulled out a 27-26 win with an 84-yard game-winning drive in the final 90 seconds. And they are 5-1 for the second time in 27 years. They have a 5-1 record. Was that exciting?
Who said you can't turn things around quickly? I mean, what a metamorphosis has taken place in this organization. I mean, when you think about it. I mean, upgrading, obviously, the coaching staff, the whole front office, player level, talent level, Canadian. I mean, It's spectacular.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it is. I mean, the season's not over, and I'm not going to send the Grey Cup to Winnipeg yet. But I'll tell you what, it's very impressive what they've done, the organization has done, when they were on the precipice last year of, well, they did fall. Absolutely. Unbelievable. The Tiger Cats have got to be stunned.
I'm sitting here shaking my head because that was just remarkable, stunning, any word you want to use, to drive the ball 84 yards, 94 yards, they're on the 16-yard line. That's 94 yards, right?
Yeah.
In a minute and a half, and then on the final play of the game from the 2-yard line, throw that rainbow into the end zone, and that's what it was. It was a rainbow.
Across the field, not even vertical, across the field where it's the best shot I had in the replay we were seeing from TSN